sleepless nights. But when I look around, and I think things over, all of my good days outweigh my bad days. I don't know. The clouds hang low. I can hardly see the road. I ask the question, Lord. Lord, why so much pain? But He knows what's best for me. Although my weary eyes, they can't see, so I'll just say, thank you, Lord. I won't complain. But He is so good to me. He's been good to me. More than this world all you could ever be. He's been so good. But He knows what's best for me. Although my weary eyes, they can't see, so I'll just say, thank you, Lord. I won't complain. But He is so good to me. He's been good to me. More than this world all you could ever be. He's been so good. And try all my children. My midnight hurt today. So I just say thank you, Lord. I've been down, thank you, Lord. I've been talked about, thank you, Lord. I've been misunderstood, but thank you, Lord.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for tuning in to this emergency standby live. In the words, I want to be careful how I, preface this live, right? Because there's a couple of things, right? So I want for if you are a FAMU alum, student, supporter, alumni, I'm just going to preface it with this. So today we're going to have 3 or 4 different types of conversations. The first conversation that we're going to have, or the first thing that we're going to be doing, of course, is you're going to have the jokes. The jokes are going to fly, right? That's just in the name of being a part of the SWAC. It comes with the territory. When our president exited stage left, let's not act like there wasn't jokes flying, right? Jackson State always got something going on with their president. So we're definitely going to do that type of stuff today. I would not be myself, or I wouldn't be being true to my brand if I didn't. How you gonna fix it? Y'all would be like, what's wrong with SheLovesThee? She usually always does that. How you gonna fix it? So we're definitely gonna do some of that today. But on a more serious note, we're going to talk about what it means for, of course, the elephant in the room, which is FAMU's president, Dr. Larry Robinson, stepping down today. We're going to read the press release. I'm going to read an article because sometimes you know how when you was little and you did something bad and you didn't get in trouble. So you're like, oh, you thought you might have you was going to get a whooping, but you didn't get in trouble. So you got away with that. And then you do something else and you think you're going to get in trouble. And it's like, okay, I didn't get in trouble for that. So then you do something else and then you get a whooping for everything that you did. It's almost like it kind of piled up, right? And then the thing that you did that last go around, that was like the straw that broke the camel's back. That's what we're going to talk about here today. It is what it is. That's what's going to happen. Let these jokes fly and take it on the chin, right? Because I have an interesting, it was interesting that I found this tweet from last year, right? And it's basically a tweet that came about. And I'm like, wow, my, how the tables turn. And basically that tweet was a person from FAMU, and they were like, do y'all even have a president yet? And I was like, you don't need to be worried about that. You need to be worried about whether or not Willie's going to FBS after this celebration bowl. That was crazy, right? Yeah. That was crazy. On a lighter note,
of other folks' business. And they can't even take care of home. But what you need to do is take 6 months to mind your own business. And 6 months to leave other folks' business alone. All I'm trying to say is sweep around your own front door. You try to shoot around. Sweep around your own front door. You try to shoot around. Now this is what you do. You smile in your neighbor's face. And you talk about them behind their backs. Y'all know you do this. But if you found out they were doing the same thing to you, you know you wouldn't like that. Well, tell me this. Who are we to judge what other people do? Take a look at yourself. You'll find some folks who sleep around your door. We're trying to sleep around mine. Well. You need to sleep around your.
I love the Williams brothers. Just so y'all know, I was brought up on that type of music. Like the Mississippi Mass Choir, the Williams brothers. That was what I was brought up on. So why y'all think I might be trying to be funny and there is like a little dig there? I literally grew up on that type of music, right? That's butter for me, like bread and butter, right? That's what I grew up on. So let's go ahead and get into this press release, y'all. Don't be mad at me. I didn't do nothing. I'm just reporting the news, okay? I'm reporting the latest and greatest on what's happening in the HBCU space, okay? So you got to sweep around your own front door before you come to sweep around mine. And why am I saying that? Well, I'm saying that because everybody was making fun. Everything that folks was making fun of at Jackson State, within not even a year, the same things happened to their school. So what I mean by that is you laughed about Deion Sanders leaving, your coach left. You laughed about our president debacle, your president is now stepping down. So it's kind of like, dang, everything that you done to me already been done to you. Right? All right. This is from the Tallahassee Democrat. Now, the buzz of a president stepping down was kind of looming from last night, but the actual announcement came today. So we'll just, look at what they had to say. Dr. Larry Robinson, in terms of academic profile, prowess, fundraising, funding, bar none, he's probably one of the best presidents for that side. What do we know about presidents? Sometimes presidents are able to hire professors and they're able to do the funding on the academic side. But when it comes to athletics, they have no idea of what's what. And everybody welcome Miss Mimi to the chat. We got another Arsenal. Look at the Arsenals. They are recruiting. Honey. So this is Miss Arsenal. I don't want to pronounce her hyphen name. I want to say Doucette, but I don't want to say it. But she says she is Tuskegee 2011 Mahari 15 in the chat. So welcome, Mimi. Welcome. So I say that to say this. We're not going to take away from Dr. Larry Robinson and his funding, bringing FAMU closer to being a R1 school institution, right? And then having to, as of recently, they've been dealing with a lot of stuff with Florida. And I'm also going to repeat what I said a couple weeks back, or when we were all in the slick of the 237 scandal, which was at this point in time, as in 2024, in Florida, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, not having a stable president is very dangerous, right? Especially Florida is, when it comes to removing stuff, They think Mississippi is bad. Florida is Mississippi 2.0, right? DeSantis is destabilizing a lot of things, right? So FAMU, when it comes to their law school, their engineering, they're in direct competition with Florida State. So not having a president is very dangerous. Everybody's keying, which is OBG is next. OBG is next. Not having an AD or a president, very dangerous times right now, right? It is what it is. We can joke and laugh all day, but it has bigger implications, and that's why you got to be on your P's and Q's. You can't be accepting Chuck E. Cheese coins, right? All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and read this. Dang, they got 1,000 in different ones. Oh, they didn't even. All right, let me see. Sorry, y'all. I'm getting it together for you. Or maybe I'll just read out the press release. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the press release before I have any commentary. And then I'm going to open up the chat, right? Because I want for people to share their thoughts. So this is from the Office of Communications. This is probably the same office that released that 237 memo. I'm just saying. Florida A&M University President Dr. Larry Robinson today announced that he will step down as president, a position he has held. And you'll have to excuse me. I have some folks working on my air conditioning because it's been hot and it went out. A position he has held for just under 7 years. 7 years as president. In a letter to the University Board of Trustees Chair Kristen Harper, mind you, she was one of the signatures on the 237 agreement, but she said that they basically just handed it to her and she signed it as a photo op. She didn't read it. So she was on that particular agreement. Robinson expressed gratitude for the opportunity to lead Florida's only public HBCU, which currently enrolls over 9,000 undergrad and graduate students. The exact date of his departure will be determined in consultation with the Board of Trustees. So that means that the Board of Trustees will be holding probably an emergency meeting. You know, that has to be live, or they might not hold a meeting. They just might say, hey, I think the end of the academic year is July 31st. Fiscal year. It's like right around the end of July is the end of the fiscal year. Robinson is a distinguished professor in the FAMU School of the Environment, a position he held prior to accepting the role as the 12th president of Florida A&M University in November of 2017. It is his intention to return to that position at the conclusion of a year-long sabbatical. So, much like sometimes they'll let you why you just don't go ahead and step down. We still have a place for you at the university, right? You get the best of both worlds. You still get to keep a job. Go ahead and take a break, and you get to come back. So you're still in the FAMU fold. So this is one thing that I can say about FAMUans, right? Which is they still look out for one another as far as keeping a job. And the reason why I say that is because when we did a live, probably, I want to say, what was that? What y'all think, about 2 months ago, maybe? They had the VP of, let me make sure I get her name right. I do not want to get it wrong, y'all. Let me get her name right. And if you guys know her name or know who I'm talking about. Okay. let's see. Oops. Sorry, y'all. VP Friday Stroud. So VP Friday Stroud, she resigned, but she still gets to keep her job, right? So not as the VP, but she gets to go back to be a professor. So she's still employed, is basically what I'm saying. So the same thing is going to happen with Dr. Robinson. He'll be able to still maintain a job after a year-long sabbatical. So you go take that year-long vacation, and then you come back. And they might actually keep President Dr. Robinson on as like the go-to for funding, right? And the reason why I say that is because he was such an excellent president. And of course, he wants the best for FAMU. He wants that, historically, he wants them to obtain R1 status. So I wouldn't see Larry Robinson as not necessarily still being in the fold, right? They might let him be in the background. So Christian Harper, on behalf of the board, commended Robinson's leadership and the upward trajectory of the university under his tenure. Florida A&M University has reached unprecedented heights as the top 100 university and the #1 public HBCU for the 5th consecutive year. We've achieved remarkable gains and record-breaking years under President Robinson's leadership. I'm honored to have served with fellow trustees alongside our president. His love for FAMU, steady leadership, and unwavering dedication to our students' success will leave an indelible mark on this university's history. The commitment is shared by his wife, Sharon Robinson, who, like Dr. Robinson, has been a source of inspiration for countless Rattlers. We are grateful they plan to remain a part of the FAMU community on the highest of 7 hills. Robinson's letter to the board notices his intention to thank many people in the coming weeks. Those who worked and commitments have been a source of support and progress for the university during his presidency. He emphasized the critical role FAMU plays in shaping students' lives and the benefits that the state and taxpayers receive from investments in higher education. Consistent with operating procedures, the university's board of trustees will meet to determine next steps as FAMU continues to boldly strike for student success.
It made a big time, Willie! 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 He gone! Willie! It made a big time, Willie! 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 He gone! Willie!
Dang, Mr. Campbell, you over there, you wrote a paragraph, didn't it? You blocking my face. You might as well come on up here and set that on live and get it on wax. Because the FAMU Rattlers, one thing they are resilient. They will strike, and strike again. Okay? Mr. Campbell wrote a dissertation in the chat. I can't even see myself. Can y'all see me above his statement? Can y'all see me? Can y'all see me? All right, let me stop playing. All right. Now, let's talk about the elephants in the room, right? If Larry Robinson leaves, will the men's basketball coach get a contract? Huh? Will they? Will they go ahead and accept his, go ahead and put his contract through, because you remember now they were supposed to approve his contract at this very last meeting that they had. They said, we're going to table it till August, right? You already know that if the president's gone, they're going to be looking for a couple of other people to follow, right? Which I done already said that it's dangerous to vacate that many positions all at once. But, you know, day after day, sometimes Lord, it's getting hot over there at the highest of 7 hills, and I ain't talking about the weather. It's a hurricane coming, and I ain't talking about the weather. Okay? Uh-oh, somebody said drop the link. Drop the link. So I would just like to welcome to the panel our esteemed guest speaker, who always speaks so highly of you're gonna have to wait, Doc. Give me a second. Who always speaks so highly of the highest of 7 hills over there. Tell Mr. Ford they ain't soft in the middle, but they gonna be soft up in that administration. That's gonna be soft in the middle. That administration is. I don't know where my link is. Y'all have to bear with me one moment, okay? Because I was on a Zoom call earlier prior to this call. So bear with me one moment. Mr. Ford, I'm getting ready to drop that StreamYard link. Give me just 1 second, okay? I went up there and dropped the Zoom link, not the StreamYard. So give me a second. All right, here it is. And so I'm going to get Mr. Ford on there. I'm going to bring on one guest at a time. I'm going to let Mr. Ford tell us, because, you know, Mr. Ford has probably been over there on Cascade Road, okay? I don't know if Mr. Campbell's ready to, you know, he has the unofficial official PR for FAMU. How you doing, Mr. Ford?
Hey, can you hear me?
Mr. Ford, we're ready to hear from you.
Oh, yeah. Can you hear me? Let's see.
Yeah, I can hear you.
You can hear me. Okay. I'm out at, this is Barnes and Nobles. I'm out at Cumberland. The people in Atlanta know this is Cumberland Mall. And I'm out
Mr.
here.
Ford, you can't be over here giving out your location like that.
No, well, that's where I am. I wanted to come out to the bookstore to read the football books today for a little while. And I hit my phone and I saw that you were live. So
did you hear the news, Mr. Ford?
yes, my niece told me. My niece is at she's a Tennessee State student. She told me that Dr. Robinson resign?
Yes, he stepped down. We don't want to be like we're going to be careful with the words that we use, right?
Right.
So we don't want to say resign. We don't want to say retire. We're just going to say exactly what the press release says, because depending on what it is that he actually decides to do, that's, you know.
Right.
So it just said that he's going to step down as president. Okay.
And
so
that's
everybody's
effective.
glad that you came on, because they want to know what the street committee is saying. But you at Barnes and Nobles? You're not over there on Cascade Road. You haven't had a chance.
The last street committee report I got was on Southern University's football team. But this is big. I know they're going to be talking about this tomorrow. This will be the big news tomorrow.
Oh, well, Mr. Ford, we're going to be on.
What time you coming on? You coming on tonight or tomorrow?
Well, you ain't gonna have the street committee news until tomorrow, right?
Yeah,
Tomorrow's Saturday. Of course, I'm
yeah.
gonna be on for SWAC Saturday. Of
Okay,
course.
okay. Yeah. But this is the this will dominate everything. This will be big talk in Atlanta, period. Because it's a million FAMU graduates in the Atlanta area. You know that. This is their
Yes.
headquarters. This is stuck in Tallahassee.
So the same way that you're going to give me some assignments, y'all drop the questions for Mr. Ford to take to the street committee. The same way he's giving me assignments for SWAC Media Day, I need
Yeah.
for y'all to drop those questions in the chat because we want to know. The people want to know.
Oh yeah.
Does the FAMUans feel like this was a great choice or was something that he had to do? And do they still want him on in an advisory role, right? Because at the end of the day, Larry Robinson pioneered research dollars, and FAMU academically has been in a really great place these last couple of years, right?
Oh yeah. Without a doubt.
There was an article, I'm sure, Mr. Campbell, can you drop that or text it to me? Which is the article that they were talking about the passage rates for FAMU's law school.
Yeah.
But after further research, it looks like Florida State isn't even over FAMU, right?
Right. Oh yeah.
So how you gonna complain about FAMU's passage rates and it's higher than Florida State, and Florida State probably gets 10 to 20 times more funding than FAMU?
That's right.
Like, let's be for
Always.
real. So this is what I meant when I said that that him leaving, and then they don't want OBG there.
Oh, she's out. You listen. We don't even have to discuss her no more.
You don't want to discuss her no more.
I said, she out. It's over. It's over. She needs to call the same moving van he calls.
So you saying he need to call a U-Haul?
She do. I know she. Well, usually they keep the presidents. They'll take a job as a professor or something like that.
He's gonna take a year-long sabbatical, and then he's gonna get his comfy, cushy little professor job. And he's like you said, Mr. Ford. There's some presidents that know about athletics and some that don't. I really feel like the visceral for the AD, and then the mistake. It was kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back, because allegedly, I'm gonna need about 7 to 10 allegeds in here before I say something. Let me get some allegeds. I ain't seen none, Mr. Ford. So what do you think about the resignation? Do you think that's something that he should have done?
Well, I knew it was coming. I mean, you let the number one HBCU football coach get away. And at a FAMU, you're going to pay a price for that. You had Willie Simmons. Okay? His family's Florida A&M. He was raised probably, about 15, 20 miles from Tallahassee. He was basically what you would call a homeboy. And then you win the SWAC, you win the Celebration Bowl, and then he asks you for a raise and you don't give it to him? I knew. Listen, I've said this a long time. I knew there was going to be some repercussions behind this. I knew that. Because remember now, let's be honest now. FAMU's notoriety came from the winning of that football team and that band, that 100. When you talk to little children right now and you ask them, what do you know about FAMU? They all say the same thing. They know about the 100. They know about that band. And so if you're going to be the president, you got to cultivate that and make it even better. And he didn't do it. And they coming off a national championship, SWAC title, and you let this guy get away? Like you just said, to me, that was a straw that broke the camel's back.
Okay, so Mr. Ford, academics is, in the grand scheme of things, when we talk about HBCU, academics is way more important than athletics.
Oh, without a doubt. No doubt. Without a doubt.
Athletics comes secondary to academics, because academics and funding is what pays the bills,
Oh, yeah.
right?
No argument on that.
Do you think, I think you used the word imploding, right? FAMU is imploding from the inside out. Do you think that this culmination of implosion from the athletics debacle all the way to 237 scandal, do you think that these were self-inflicted wounds that could have been prevented by
Without a doubt. Yes.
having the AD resign, or, you know, what could have patched things up?
Well, first of all, they should have given Willie Simmons that money. Okay. They should have given him the raise. Okay. My thing now is we don't need to spend a whole lot of time with what has happened in the past. We learn from the past. But the thing now is, who is going to be the new president? Okay. We want somebody like what was Doc's name? Frederick Humphreys. You know, you want somebody like that he's in touch with everything. He's in touch with the academic side. He's in touch with the student life. He's in touch with the athletics. You know, he's in touch with the alumni. That's what you hope. That's what you hope and pray for. And so that's the thing now that I'm gonna keep an eye on is who will be the next president of Florida A&M. That's the most important thing now, because you remember I said this a long time ago. Success starts at the top. So that's the most important thing now. Who are they going to get?
So here's my thing with the replacement of okay, you can feel how you want to feel about athletics, right? You can feel how you want to feel. But when we're talking about academics and what has to come behind that, do you put Larry Robinson in an advisory role specifically for that, right?
Yes, I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Another question is, because we all know that Dr. Lori talked about how, and this was specifically for football. So does this still ring true with the highest position at FAMU, which is, does that person have to be from FAMU blood, the next president?
No, you get the best person available. No, I mean, it's sometimes it's an advantage to get a person with FAMU blood because he knows the lay of the land. But the number one thing is you want to get someone who is the best available. Okay, you want an outstanding individual. Okay, he can come from Howard, he can come from Harvard, he can come from Florida A&M, he can come from Southern, wherever. We want the best available.
I'm wondering if that is something that they would be open to, right?
I'm sorry, what you say?
Is that something that they would be open to? We've gotten a lot of, not we, but basically when you talk about who should do what at FAMU, there's a lot of pushback. The AD, there was pushback. The football coach, there was pushback. The basketball coach, there was pushback. They didn't really too much trip on the women's basketball coach. Was it volleyball coach? There was pushback after some scholarships were taken. So here's what I'm saying, that it's one thing to have athletic problems with the athletic program, with the way that the AD is running things. Bowling, thank you. The bowling program. It's one thing to have that, but to have some issues at the very top, that's a different ball game, because DeSantis has already dismantled some things in Florida, right? I feel like that the board of governors and the board of trustees already has, you know, DeSantis they're representing for DeSantis, right?
Oh yeah.
Do you think that they will try to place someone at the helm of FAMU that may not represent them in the best light? Or because that's how it is at I'm not going to say not necessarily the best light, but I'll say this: at IHL, they control who Jackson State's presidents are, right?
Right. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Have
No doubt.
no control over it. I mean, we can say who we want. They can do all of the little town hall meetings that they want, asking us what it is that we're looking for. But at the end of the day, IHL is the one responsible for appointing that particular person. So President Thompson, he is a Jackson State alum, but
Right.
when we talk about his ability to, and you know, if you're the president, you put people in those positions to make sure that you're getting the academic funding, that you're helping with promoting the university, getting more students here. But at the end of the day, President Thompson was not on the short list or bucket list or any type of list for who Jackson State was going to choose as their president. This was an IHL appointment. There's allegedly sayings that he didn't even apply for the job. He didn't have to put in a resume or anything. They were just like, you're our guy, we're appointing you. Do you think the Board of Governors and the Board of Trustees will appoint somebody that the FAMU faithful doesn't necessarily agree with?
Well, they can do it, but I can say this, Mr. Mona, he won't stay that long. You know, you and I have talked about this. They have a high standard of Florida A&M. And I mean, they can put somebody in there that they want to put in, but if he doesn't, you know, mesh with the family, with the nation, he won't be that long. Yeah, the culture, he won't be that long.
But that's the thing. Like, you don't want, and that's caused issues with us. You don't want a revolving door of presidents, right?
Right.
Because when you think about investors or people donating to the university, one thing that they look at is how many years has your president been there? The young lady, which her name is like, I'm getting a blank, but basically Amazon, Jeff Bezos' ex-wife.
Oh yeah, Scott, Mackenzie Scott.
Yes. So she made all these donations, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And when I looked into it, one of her reasonings for donating money to the different universities, one of the profiles that they looked at was, how long has their president been there? What is their president turnover, right?
Right.
One of the reasons, I mean, I think she had a connection with Ruth from Prairie View, Dr. Ruth.
And she was taught by Toni Morrison at Princeton.
Right. But she gave Prairie View a large donation, right?
Yeah, $50 million, I think, wasn't it?
Right. So some of that was the connection, but also the stability of the university. And they're looking at the very top. Instability at the top is not good for HBCUs because every president is going to have a different direction. Every president is going to have things that they feel they want to work on. I just also want it to be a situation where you don't have folks who feel like they're right or they're the best or people should listen to us, that they don't cloud their judgment, right? You don't necessarily want to choose your homeboy because the homeboy, you've known him for all these years and he's done X, Y, Z. Like, choose the best person, right?
Right.
Y'all drop some names in the chat. I was told they might just kind of like promote from within, right?
That could happen. That happens. Well, I think Amon came there. Well, Amon was a FAMU graduate, but he had been president at North Carolina Central, and then they brought him home. Yeah, that could happen. That could happen. Now, like I said, I stick with get the best available. Get somebody that's outstanding, that their resume says outstanding achievement. That's what we always used to say about football coaches and basketball coaches. Does their resume say championships? If it says championships, let's look at him seriously. And that's what I'm saying about FAMU's president.
My next question is, good Lord, you know that FAMU is underneath the Sunshine Law, right? Are they going to be able to attract quality presidents that might be at other universities due to just how you look at the coaching debacle, right? And how names were released and how important it was for secrecy because some of these people are at other universities. Do you think that the coaching debacle that they had with the replacement of Willie Simmons and them releasing those names, do you think that that will cause quality presidents to refrain from applying?
The answer is no. You got to remember, Florida A&M is one of the top 100 universities in America. You know how many people are interested in being over that school? No. They're going to get millions of applicants. No.
Even if they're at a university already and there's a possibility they'll get exposed?
No. Listen, they're going to be, listen, people apply, there are people applying right now. We're talking about one of the top 100 universities in America. We're not talking about HBCUs. We're talking about 100 in this country. There are going to be applicants out the door.
Mr. Ford, how they going to fix it?
Well, I think one of the things they do, they learn from the past. We can't live in the past, but we can learn from the past. Learn from the things that happened under his administration. Listen, I know that there's another Frederick Humphreys out there, Dr. Gore, Dr. Perry, and those people. I know they out there. You just gotta look under the proverbial rock for them.
How you gonna fix it? You done messed me up the jobless visit. I done called the police because I'm doing a refund. A refund is due unto me. Don't feel like I just been abused out here today. God ain't pleased with this. You can't do the saints like this. Boy, I don't even know if I'm gonna sit out here telling the police car. I'm gonna sit out here telling the police car. I'm doing refund. Cause I'm doing one of me. How you
Mr. Ford, they did say that Dr. David Jackson Jr. is a current assistant provost at North Carolina Central and a FAMU grad. He's a FAMU grad.
Okay.
Do you know anything about him? Yeah, I can hear you. Do you know anything about that particular person?
We're supposed to talk to Mr. Campbell. You're supposed to bring him in.
Mr. Campbell is all up in the chat, and I've dropped the link 3 or 4 times.
Well, he knows that.
He has the gift of gab in the way with words, and so if he wants to put her in, then he needs to be ushered in. Mr. Ford, call him out. Say, Mr. Campbell, we want to hear from you.
Oh, wow. Hold on one second. Okay. Listen. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Listen, I got to check out. We're getting ready to leave. I'm going to call you as soon as I get home if you're still on. Okay?
All right, Mr. Ford.
All right. I'm going to check out.
All right, y'all. So thank Mr. Ford for coming on and giving his piece. I'm going to do like Mr. Ford did to Dr. Lori. Mr. Campbell, we want to hear from you. Okay, so what y'all want to hear right now? Willie or how you gonna fix it? How you gonna fix it? No, Avis, you cannot come in here and talk. Avis. Avis, you're gonna be acting up. Avis. I could just hear you now.
He made a big time, Willie.
they said that Dr. Larry Robinson did not stand a chance once Willie left. Okay? It was like, so they're saying Mr. Campbell should submit his application to be the president of FAMU. Okay, Mr. Strike. Everybody's voting for Mr. Campbell. Do you think that we should take up a poll? Lord, let's do a poll on who should be the next president. Y'all drop 2 or 3 folks that you feel should be the president. We got Mr. Campbell front runner, okay? Then they said, is it David Jackson or Dave Jackson of North Carolina Central? Mr. Haynes says, fam, you already picked the next president and you don't know about it. Oh, Lord. Y'all, I want to introduce my next guest for the panel, the illustrious, official, unofficial, public relations, media mogul, Bishop Campbell, arbiter of truth of all things HBCU, to the panel. Mr. Campbell.
Simona, how you doing?
I'm great. You know, the world has been waiting for you because, you know.
Oh, really? What's going on? Is anything, some news happened today?
I mean, I don't know if you heard, but
I haven't. What happened?
So Dr. Robinson decided to step down.
Wow.
Yes. And you know what? Like Mr. Haynes said, you guys probably already knew that it was happening. So this might be old news to you and new news to us.
Damn, that 237 got him, huh? Shot him dead, 237 bullets, huh? Damn. No, but you know what? Listen, here's the thing. And I was going to call you and say this to you, but this is honestly, and I think this is a learning lesson for everybody, where you cannot get to a certain point where you're in a bubble and you don't listen to just God's good sense, because it makes no sense for Dr. Robinson, who has done an excellent job at FAMU, for this is the reason why he has to resign, retire, whatever they're going to call it in the next 30 days. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So, you know, he let, like I say, we let them white folks get in the business, and now they're in the business. And this is what happens. So it's disappointing. But there should have been no way that something like this that easily could have been fact-checked, shouldn't even got to a point where a man gets on the stage and talks to our graduates. And again, jokes being made, embarrassing FAMU, and stuff like that. So, you know, sometimes you got to sit back and learn a hard life lesson. So I'll tell you this to all the young folks. Sometimes you got to learn from this. I hope you all, when your gut tells you something that's right, you need to follow your gut, because everybody's gut knew that wasn't right.
That's kind of like when Tyra Banks said, "We were all rooting for you."
Yeah.
How dare you learn from this?
But I wanted to get to your point about, so here's the thing. When you have flagship schools like FAMU and North Carolina A&T and those jobs come open, you're going to have 1,000 people applying for that job. Because first and foremost, these jobs don't come open that much, you know?
Right.
And there are not that many jobs.
Right.
So you're going to have a high level. Now, the thing which I think everybody is concerned about is the political side of it. You all saw it at Jackson State. The people at, you know, North Carolina A&T, they kind of like, why did this guy get selected? Because the resume is going to be fine, but is what is said behind closed doors. So there's going to be a guy that is going to come in and say, well, all I'm going to be worried about is getting FAMU to R1, but not talk about all the DEI stuff that Sanders is pulling. And that the school that has a mission to educate Black people, now all of a sudden the president says, well, our mission is just to educate people. See those terminologies.
Moving away from that, or saying we want to diversify the university. It's like, whoa,
exactly. All those buzzwords, all those buzzwords that move from the mission. Yeah, that moves from the mission. So you'll have a guy or a woman, because like I said, a woman could definitely do the job, that's going to have this resume, but it's going to be the communication and who's going to be the ones that's in the room that's saying, what do we want to do with FAMU? Because again, for the governor, it looks good for FAMU to get R1 and to be ranked this, because you know what he does all the time, and you guys have seen this. Governor Tate did the same thing. They claim us when we do something great, right? We all part of it. Every one of these red governors, when anyone at HBCU do great, but then when we go ask them for money, they don't support it. So of course it makes Governor the same, because you know what he's going to brag? Oh, I've got one of the top university systems in the country, but he's not helped supporting that system. So that's the problem. So you know that's what is going to be the issue. So yeah, they're going to be people, but I don't think there's anybody that in house, because FAMU's had a lot of turnover at the VP, provost level, and things like that. So I don't think there's anybody in house that's going to take that job. This is going to be somebody from the outside. EA, which is his frat brother, Dave Jackson, who's an alpha. I know Dave. Dave's an outstanding guy.
Oh, I know so that's EA's people.
Yeah. That's the. Matter of fact, Dave might be the EA's line brother. I don't know. Yeah, you can chime in. That might be your line brother. So again, Dave Jackson, I think he applied for the Tennessee State job. So he has the credentials to apply for this job. Yeah. So he has.
So the reason why I like this particular pick is because that is a FAMU faithful, right? And I know that one of the things that all HBCUs you do look at, so North Carolina A&T kind of strayed away from that, but is someone who is in the HBCU culture that understands the dynamics, that understands why certain things have to be done this way that they have to be done, and the underfunding of HBCUs and how important it is to know these things, right? So I do think from an outsider's perspective, they, like the North Carolina A&T chancellor, I do think that one thing that he brings is maybe the ability to gain funding that wasn't previously known about or wasn't previously attainable, just because he has the connections, right? While I just want to take a 30-second break to announce that I am going to SWAC Media Day. And so the flight's been paid for and my hotel, but I would absolutely appreciate donations to cover the cost associated with this trip. There's a couple of out-of-pocket expenses that I have that need to be covered. So if you would please make that donation. All of the information is located at the top. If you're interested in becoming a sponsor like Mr. Campbell here with iWeave, you can also email me at sponsorships@SheLovesThee.com. Okay, Mr. Campbell, I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
As the FAMU faithful, of course, I was digging on Dr. Robinson, but I want to be impartial to a certain extent. Can you please framework, because a lot of people don't know what Larry Robinson has done for the university outside of maybe the debacle that we've seen, because you're new to the SWAC. Can you please tell us an overview of what Larry Robinson did for FAMU and, you know, speaking more like breathing life into maybe his history outside of the last year and a half, right?
Well, here's the thing. Dr. Robinson has been with FAMU for a while. And matter of fact, I think Dr. Robinson has, because when there has been issues, when we had the tragedy in the band, I think Dr. Robinson took over as interim president, righted the ship with that. When Dr. Mangum resigned, they put Dr. Robinson in as the interim president, righted the ship again. Then he became the president. And again, unprecedented academic growth, unprecedented research money growth, prestige of the university. So Dr. Robinson is a person that, you know, you have certain people, and I was thinking about Mr. Ford, what he said about Dr. Humphreys, and you people from Jackson State remember Dr. Peoples and QM Gloucester and Morehouse and Dr. Cole, those giants and things like that. Those people came in a different era where you had to be outspoken, right? And they came up in the political environment different. Now, these presidents now are very quiet. They're really people that just want to keep the lights on, and they just want to make sure they keep on track, because if they speak out too much, we know what's going to happen, right? So because of the political situation of most of these red states. So the thing about it is, Dr. Robinson did a great job of making sure the lights were always on at FAMU, to make sure that we were going in the right direction. But was he going to be somebody that was going to be outspoken and talk about the issues in the state of Florida? No, that's not his thing. And that's what most of these presidents are not going to do that anymore. Like I said, we don't have those type of presidents that were leaders in the movement anymore. Unfortunately, they've all gone, they've all passed away. So for any president that comes in now to these universities, it's a political game. And they're going to be very quiet when it comes to social issues, but hopefully they'll be very dynamic on the academic side and on the fundraising side.
Okay. And so then one of the things that was brought up was, and you made a good point about being outspoken, is that things now, like you said, they're political. They are done over meetings, deals being brokered, and that actually going against the grain, speaking out about underfunding, filing lawsuits, that can actually have a negative backlash and effect on the ability for them just to keep the lights on, right?
Yeah. Because you think about it, FAMU's owed $1.9 billion. It's a fact. Have you heard Dr. Robinson ever say, hey, where our money at? Matter of fact, the only president that I think that has spoken out about their money was Dr. Glenda Glover at Tennessee State. You see what they did to her. For all those land grant universities that are owed billions of dollars. So, those are things that when you look at it, so for FAMU, again, get somebody that is strong with academics, strong in research, hire, again, the AD, like I say, we all know the AD is not going to last because the new president's going to hire. He's definitely a new president going to hire a new AD.
When you say that she's not going to last, are you saying that she's going to be fired, or you guys are going to, or you're asking for her resignation?
No. I think the new president, because see, I think this is what's going to happen, right? I think the new president's going to come in and he's going to look at all the noise, good and bad, and he's going to just say, I'm going to get my person, like most presidents do. I'm going to get my person. So I don't think, and again, just this last thing, just, about the PA announcer, that's something that shouldn't even been an issue. I mean, anybody that's been around HBCU football, those PA announcers are like family. It is very rare that the PA announcer, unless they retire or health reasons, why they leave that PA job, because they are the mouthpiece of the crowd, of the environment. And for her to be worried about somebody that makes $500 a week, come on, man, what are we doing?
So you guys wanted your PA?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, so FAMU has a revolving door on that AD. It's you guys have had students have stayed longer than your ADs. That's how bad it is.
Yeah.
So does that just, and you can't, okay, so this last one, you said that she wasn't even the top 10 hire, right? When you guys did your...
Well, she wasn't.
Okay, but what about the other 8 to 10 ADs?
Well, see, so, wait a minute. So, okay, so wait a minute. So, okay, so here's the thing. Each one either left for a reason, or because I can, like I say, because again, what you're talking about, Kellen, I mean, I could go back, we can start pulling them up, and I can kind of tell you why each one left. But what I'm saying is some of them left because there was a new president. So we've had three presidents, and probably over those 3 presidents are probably what, have 6 ADs over that time, at least.
Larry Robinson's been there for 7 years. Y'all done had about at least 4 ADs.
But he's been, let's see. So he had
7. You had
he had
Courtney
Gaucher, he had her, and then was Kellen Winslow there with him? Was that Dr. Ham? I would have to look. I don't, like I said, I don't want to misquote it.
Gaucher
But
was there
like
for
I said,
like a year and some
yeah,
change.
right.
And then
But the thing about it, but see, this goes back. Wait a minute, but hold on. This goes back to the point. So again, with Gaucher, you know, there's some gray area in that how he left. You know,
right.
So
Which,
that's what I'm saying.
That lawsuit that he filed was dismissed.
There you go. So that's what I'm saying. So every one, that's what I'm saying. We got to look at each one. That somebody, it's the difference between somebody. So what is it? Get fired, quit, or resign, right? So we got to kind of look at.
The last couple ones are going to be Gaucher. He resigned before he was fired, and AD Sykes, Don Sykes is going to be. I don't know what she's gonna be. I feel like she's gonna stay until she gets fired.
I just think, I just think that a president, which this happens all the time. This is not just us. If you change, it's no different. When a new AD comes in, they change the coach.
Well, I hope President Thompson don't plan on doing nothing with Ashley Robinson because our athletics department.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But it's successful. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think Thompson. I think again he's one of them people. And you know, man, you had this offline. That hire, you know what that was all about. You know what I'm saying? We know what that was. I don't think he's trying to come up there and make no way. I think he opened his mouth that one time about y'all jersey, and we ain't heard nothing else from him, have we, about sports? Telling y'all what y'all colors were. So I don't think he's going. Yeah.
Listen. Okay, so what I want to say is that a year ago, no, not even a year ago, it's been less than 8 months, right? Once the pay raise that was requested by your head coach who actually won the Celebration Bowl, once that wasn't corrected and Larry Robinson took the side, which I'm not going to say it's necessarily a side, but once he kind of like supported the AD's decision, it just has been downhill since then.
I would totally agree. So maybe somebody's bad luck. So I don't know. Well, let me ask you this question, because you understand this, like with the PA, and even though I know Rob J is not a PA, but you know how we love Rob J is with the family, with the JSU community, right?
Right.
And what if somebody came and said, "Oh, we don't want to bring back Rob J"? Everybody in Jackson would go crazy. So it's the same thing with Sterling.
Our PA for our football game, and you know what? I'm not speaking on their behalf because this is what I feel like logistically. Logistically, when we talk about an HBCU game and a PWI game, the culture is different, right? For Jackson State, especially, the majority of the people of like the 40,000 that come, I would say it's probably, what do you think, 70-30 for older folks?
Right.
Meaning that 70% of the people that go to these Jackson State games are older. They're not necessarily, they might be Jackson State alums, they might be from the community, but we're talking about like the breakdown of who attends these Jackson State games. They're not folks that will yell for 2 hours straight. They don't have the breath capacity for that, right? So I also think that they don't. HBCUs also, we get loud differently, right? Our bands going back and forth, this battle that they have in the stands, that's a part of our culture, right? So for the PA, I think on Jackson State, the consensus is that we're yelling at the wrong times and we're cheering at the wrong times. Now, at white schools, they're allowed to be screaming and yelling and doing all this extra stuff when it's the opposing team. At HBCUs, they be giving us penalties for that. You can't play your band during the opposing team's turn. when it's their offense, you can't do that. So you get penalties for that. The bands are a part of the football culture, and that is the noise. Now, as far as us being louder during defense and doing this, that, and the third, y'all better get them folks some cowbells and some clappers, because this is all we know, and this is cultural. Dun, 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 dun. This is cultural. Like, this pom-pom is a part of Jackson State culture. Get you one of these, right? But as far as like the sound, they want to get rid of RPA. They want to get rid of RPA. So when somebody saw that they got rid of yours, they was like, oh, okay, we need to follow in suit. But you're telling me no, the PA.
Well, what I'm saying is, okay, I'm talking about not a literal thing. What I'm saying, most schools PAs have been there for a while. Most schools PAs, they don't get paid a lot of money. They're doing it for a labor of love. You see what I'm saying? So they're sacrificing most of them. Now, again, you're talking about something specific. Exactly. The guy that I grew up with, that guy, I don't know when he retired or what. I'm pretty sure he's long gone. But when I was the guy that was there between the 70s and 80s, that guy was great. You know what I'm saying? That guy was great. Everybody knew. I can't remember his name. Some of the old heads might remember that guy's name when we were growing up in Jackson. Everybody knew that guy and stuff like that. Same thing, Gremlin.
I think he's the same person from the 70s and 80s, and that's the problem. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't mean
but no, but what I'm saying is, but the PA announcer is, but to the point, but even like with Sterling is, I think, a little bit younger than me. You know what I mean? The point of it is people get used to the guy. And again, I'm going to separate. I don't want to get too far from the weeds, but the FAMU guy, people liked him. Let's say that. Okay. I'll speak specifically to FAMU. People liked the guy. The guy had a good rhythm for the game. The guy had a good rhythm for the crowd. He was only making $500. So that means he did it he loved FAMU, not because he was making money.
So basically, the AD is just doing whatever she wants. And she's just buying her time because everybody knows she's on the way out. So don't be over here firing folks because you about to be looking for a job your damn self.
Yeah,
that's basically what I'm saying. You're saying it, but not saying it. Like, don't be over here making all these changes and you about to not have a job yourself. Okay? Moving along. Can you give me a short list besides Dave from it?
You know, what? I've talked to a couple of people that are in higher ed that are at that provost. And because of course we all found out about this last night, and it's going to be names. You know, a lot of people are like, who is going to be able to take this job? So I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know. I don't think a lot of people know. I don't think
this President Robinson stepping down was not new. Like, everybody knew it was coming. So my question is, why wasn't this short list already gathered? Like, we knew wait a
minute, hold on now. So there's two things. I'm not now. Don't say wait a minute. DeSantis them already had a short list. It's just like, it's case in point. Like, I'll give you a perfect example. It's two schools, like I said, I know specifically about how they're. Jack State had a short list of people. Tennessee State, and my cousin teaches up there at Tennessee State. I have a lot of people at Tennessee State. They had a short list. And you saw what Tennessee State was even worse, because the people that the Tennessee, they had that, I guess, search committee, and they put forward, and then them white folks came and said, no, we don't want none of them. So understand, you can have a short list. The alumni, the financial stakeholders, the faculty, but that still doesn't mean anything. So I think what we'll have to see in the next 2 weeks, which you'll know, because we're going to know who applied for a job because it's a public state university, so we'll know exactly who applied for a job. They can't keep that secret, and they have to physically. I'm
gonna ask the same thing that I asked Mr. Ford. I mean, you're basically saying no, but folks who might be currently at a president or a provost position, you don't think that the publicity of a search committee?
No, No, absolutely not. I mean, oh, absolutely not. No, because at that level, you're always going to be screwed. It's a public school. Oh, absolutely not. It's going to be people. Let me tell you something, Timon. I mean, I know we have a lot of bias, and we have all jokes aside, but I'm going to keep it 100 with you. In a public HBCU land, FAMU is one of the top 5 jobs. First of all, they got money. They got research dollars. It's a large university. It's a well-known university. It has an active alumni base. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That stuff that you're talking about is nothing for us you podcast and people on Twitter that let you say he and kiki. But people in the business they don't even hear this foolishness.
Right.
Because you know what they hear? I'm gonna tell you what they hear. They hear that $100-something million that's raised for research. They hear being the #1 public HBCU. They hear being in the state of Florida. They hear that they're about to get almost to 12,000 students in the next 3 years. That's what they hear. Because that means you could do a lot of things compared to a school that only has 4,000 students, don't have research dollars, not anywhere close to being to R1, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
Because you think of any guy.
That. What about will we see, which, I mean, folks definitely feel some type of way about maybe FAMU being covered, because sometimes it seems like podcasters only cover FAMU when there's something going on. But let's just keep it a buck, Mr. Campbell. The last 6 months have not been kind to FAMU in the way of positive feedback, right? It's always.
I think we're all in our own little echo chamber, right? And I mean, it's lovely. We all know each other. I met you through this, but there's a bigger world out there. There are people that I'm telling you have no idea that any of y'all even do shows on YouTube.
Right.
And I would say majority of those people, and I'm telling you, and I'm going to be honest with you, and I'm 54 years old. And the people that are 50 and above, like you said, that really give money to the schools and things like that, they ain't listening to y'all. Because first of all, some of them don't even know how to find you. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So for them, their information is through the Alumni Association, email, phone calls, and things like that. And those are the people that are giving millions of dollars to FAMU, hundreds of thousands of dollars to Jackson State, hundreds of thousands of dollars to Southern, hundreds of thousands of dollars to Alabama A&M, Alabama State. The older people, and they people that's 20 years old that's cutting a check for $50,000.
No, what I'm saying is, so we saw a decline maybe in athletic giving directly to the AD, right? Because they didn't necessarily agree with her way of trying to raise money, her communication being off. So we saw, because of that, a decline in athletic giving directly to her, right? So what I'm saying is, choosing the president who will ultimately choose the AD, is this something that you're going to see a search committee of 30 to 40 people saying we need this and it to be like this, and having some of those, which they're public, right? And so people, and when I say people, I mean myself included, sometimes I stream the board of trustees meeting because it's live, and it's it's information about how the board of trustees works, how the board of governors work, how their meetings are ran, and how they come to a consensus about what it is that they want to do. For me, when I look at this, which I said it a couple of months ago, or whenever the 237 debacle happened, I said that having the president gone, the VP or the AD gone, and having all of these empty spaces at the highest level, at the administration, that it was dangerous with whoever Ron DeSantis is, right? Because we have IHL in Mississippi, but you guys have the board of governors and the board of trustees that ultimately approve the contract for the president, right?
Right.
And we've seen the board of trustees kind of, I'm not going to necessarily say hijack, but kind of like insert themselves more so in whether or not they're going to approve the contract to who is this person? Did the AD do this right? So we've seen them insert themselves in that more so than maybe just approving a contract. So is it going to be the choice of FAMU, or is it going to be DeSantis's pick?
Well, it's going to be, in the end, it's always DeSantis's pick. Larry Robinson got that job because of Rick Scott. And quite as careful, people in Florida, DeSantis wasn't too far from Rick Scott. So let's be clear. Florida did not have some liberal Democratic governor before DeSantis. And if you go Google Rick Scott, he was just as bad.
So DeSantis is basically just an extension.
Yeah, Florida has turned progressively red over the last 20 years. And it has gotten all the way down to the legislative level. And that's why there's a reason why FAMU is not almost at 20,000 students. And they're letting West Florida grow past us.
And so
FAMU could have 20,000 students.
Okay, so Mr. Campbell, you are by your own admission saying that sometimes, those politics and what's going on, the attack on FAMU's law school when they have a larger passage rate than Florida State. So you see where I'm going with this. DeSantis is going to have his hands in the cookie jar, right? Are you guys going to be able to get a president that you feel not only meshes with your culture, but is going to get you to R1 status and cares about athletics? Because I think that those are the three things that you're looking for. Someone who understands the culture, knows about academics, R1 research, and it seems like having either knowledge in athletics or hiring somebody who knows about athletics. That's very, very important to FAMU.
All right. So here's the thing. For the mission of FAMU, I know FAMU, and this is for all the HBCUs that are striving, R1 is a really big deal because of the money that it brings overall to university. That's why A&T, Howard, Jackson State, FAMU, I think those are the four within the next 3 to 4 years. What I'm excited about is that all four of them will probably be R1 within the next 5 years. That is a great thing overall just for HBCU academics. But my point of it is they're not going, DeSantis administration, this goes back to when you see this. You can get a guy that keeps the lights on, but he might not be as politically, and I'm going to say liberal as I am, right? Or as outspoken as I would like to be. But what most people will accept, and especially in this time in 2024, again, I'm like I said to Mr. Ford, in the chat, Dr. Humphreys, there's not another Dr. Humphreys that's coming. So I'd rather have a guy like Larry Robinson. And what I mean by that is who knew how to raise research dollars, who understand about the academic mission of FAMU. Now, would I like somebody that also, to Mr. Ford's point, because the sports culture for our HBCUs are very important because it does raise the profile. People from North Carolina A&T can't deny this. Them going to all them celebration bowls help raise their overall perspective to people nationwide. That's why they have record-breaking people. I think they had 20-some thousand people that tried to apply to A&T. We had 30,000 that tried to apply to FAMU that had 3 9s. Think about that now. 30,000 kids that had 3 9s applied to FAMU that couldn't get in. So that keeps you with a strong academic mission. That allows you to go get research done because you actually have students who can complete the research and work with the professors and the doctors. So those are things. So yeah, so the part with the law school and our professional schools, of course, what they want to do is try to minimize that because you know what these other white schools say? Well, give us a law school. FAMU don't need a law school. Of course they're going to say that. You think they want more black lawyers in Florida? No, they don't want more black lawyers in Florida.
I was wanting to go to law school, but I have North Carolina Central, Southern, Texas Southern, FAMU, and Howard, right? That's it.
Wait a minute, say again.
To apply for law school, Texas Southern, North Carolina Central, Southern, FAMU, and Howard.
Okay, those excellent.
What else? Is there any other HBCUs with law schools? I think that's it.
Yeah, I think that's it.
I named them all.
Yeah, that's it. So I mean,
Okay.
so again, yeah. And so again, when you look at it, so that was the whole thing, which, people, this white guy, and again, when I made my post, again, it wasn't, Whitley, my niece, she thought I was talking about Jackson. I said, no, I was talking about this white guy who had the nerve to get on a public forum saying, fam, you need to basically get their ish together about the passage rate. And Florida State had a 40% passage rate. At least, because anybody tell you that going to law school, if you get your law school to get to 50%, and listen, and let me say this, I want people to understand this too. And anybody that has a professional credential that has to take a licensing exam, we all know, and this goes back to all things, Black schools always have to work because they do not have all the tutors and all those people that come in to Florida State Law School to help those kids. We have to do that on our own. We don't have multiple people helping us with that. So the fact that we still beat them and don't even have the money that they have says a lot about all these schools. I'm telling you, I guarantee you, Central, and North Carolina's got a law school. I bet you Central probably doesn't have the same passage rate as Carolina, but I bet you Central, with what they have, is better than North Carolina per average.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with Texas Southern. Look at what Texas Southern produces law school. What Southern produces at their law school. But what these people say, oh, you don't have a 70% passing rate. Well, what Black HBCU does?
They want to take DEI away, right? So DEI is, we don't want you at our schools. Now we're going to go attack the schools that you can go to because we don't actually want you to be efficient and effective anywhere.
No, they don't want you to have a pharmacy school. See, because you got to think about the things that they're attacking. The high level things that will create jobs and create wealth. Lawyers, doctors, engineers, pharmacists, right? Think about that. That's what they don't want, because those people become high net worth people. Those are people that can turn around and give a school $500,000 because they're making $200,000 a year when they get out of school. They don't want lawyers. Do you think Florida wants a bunch of FAMU lawyers that'll say, you know what, we're going to do this case for pro bono and go get this $1.9 million or $1.9 billion? Of course not. They don't want that. So, of course, they're going to try to minimize what we do and then brush under the rug how they perform. Because for Florida State, I'm going to be honest with you, for Florida State to only have a 40% passage rate, that is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. So, again, for me, I think what FAMU is going to do is look for somebody that has a strong academic research background, somebody that's going to understand the R1 process, somebody's going to come in and say, oh, I love FAMU. Because I don't think it's going to be a FAMU person. I don't, again, unless it's Dave Jackson, which would be awesome. But again, I don't think they're going to give Dave the job. I don't think, and again, I'm just saying that because I think the political things, I think they got somebody that's going to have a Florida State background or, or University of Miami, or University of Florida.
Why?
Yeah, they're going to have a guy, because the interim guy is a Florida State guy. I mean, he taught at FAMU, and I don't know the guy, so I'm not, because see, one thing I'm not going to do is disrespect somebody I don't know. I don't know the guy, so I can't say who and what he is. I don't know what his politics is. I don't know what his personality is, but I know he didn't go to FAMU. Not that I do know. He went to Florida State.
And that's tough, right? Because I don't know how I feel about letting folks lead, right? Your university. Like, don't make it seem like a person with an HBCU background, an HBCU degree, can't lead an HBCU university, right? You don't have to necessarily go out and say, oh, he's from University of Florida or he's from Florida State. Because guess what? And he's saying that it works both ways, but how many times have we seen folks kept out of those highest positions due to having an HBCU on their resume? They'll gatekeep.
Well, I'm gonna ask Dave. I'm gonna ask Dave this. Hey, Dave, I'm gonna ask you this: how many HBCU alums are presidents of PWIs?
Of a Harvard or a Princeton.
See, that's the thing. It does work both ways, but it only works one way for us. So again, sometimes I think, and what Timon is alluding to, again, I'm not going to say that you have to go to HBC to be a HBC president. I'm not going to say that.
I'm saying if you're going to give someone a chance, right, and they have the resume and the accolades, don't go. I don't think that you need to go to outside. I feel like gatekeeping, because they're gatekeeping from us.
Absolutely, they do. But see, this goes back to the profile of the new HBCU president. Again, when you look at these legendary HBCU presidents, it is very hard for us now to even, and I'm talking about back in the day, and like I said, if you lived in Grambling and Jackson, Baton Rouge, Tallahassee, Greensboro, you knew the other presidents from the other school because these were giants. These were men that were in the forefront. These were men that were going on Capitol Hill fighting, advocating for Black people. Mm-hmm. We don't have that anymore. You like I say again, people, like I say, to your point, the only reason why people know Dr. Robinson right now because all the fools is going on. You look at, like I say,
people about Dr. Robinson. Yeah.
You know, so that's what I'm saying. But so again, you got, again, the legendary Dr. John Peoples, who took Jackson State from Jackson College to Jackson State University. Thompson went to St. Joe. I know who he is. He ain't Dr. John Peoples. Not even close.
Some historical things that they had to fight with. They had to fight with, which we had that discussion on another live, which was that they were funding Jackson State. A church was. They were helping fund it. And then once they seen that Jackson State was elevating and growing, they cut the funding, right? Because now it's a threat. Instead of us, let's give these Negroes a school to go to, it became a threat and they cut off the funding. And so Dr. Peoples had to figure out a way to continue to fund the university, forego his salary. And so there's a lot of sacrifices that were made when we talk about the building blocks of HBCUs. And right now we like you said, it's political over here. It's political on a day-to-day basis, and there's a game that you have to play. Our president at Jackson State played the game, and he used his connects. I made fun of Haley Barber being at Dr. Thompson's like his little after 5 meetups and meet and greets. I made fun of the fact that he utilized me for his campaign back when I first went to Jackson State. But at the end of the day, even though it's still severely underfunding, Thompson was able to secure $23 million, right? When you're used to not getting so much from somebody that owes you something and they give you a little bit of something, you get happy. I'm happy about that $20 million, right?
And that's what, but see, that's what, you know, and see, this is where the catch-22 is. And again, these are such complex conversations. I know this is not what this show is about, but just like what you just said. So, okay, they gave FAMU $50 million. They gave Jackson State $23 million. But we supposed to be getting $100 million. Y'all supposed to be getting $80 million.
Right. And this comment right here, because I don't want to go to that school. I want to go to law school. So co-pilot 1911 says you should know the history of the institution, especially when there's been systematic discrimination. Hence, JSU celebrating a partnership when they should have had a program. And the partnership that he's talking about is the law school partnership, where basically from Jackson State to, is it Ole Miss?
Yeah, with Ole Miss.
2 years for law school, which when you have to go to law school for 3 years, that sounds good, right? But I don't want to go to Ole Miss. I want to go to an HBCU for my law school. I want to go to a Jackson State law school, right? Because I like the culture. I feel safe there as far as culturally how it is. Like Ole Miss, it's the history behind Ole Miss, which we've gone through. So we're celebrating that partnership, right? When in reality, we need to have our own law school.
Let me tell you what's so funny, and I think we talked about this on your show. I think Cedric was on there, and we talked about. Remember, I told you the black judges all went to Holy Ghost Catholic, and then went to Tougaloo, and then they had to go to Ole Miss. Reuben Anderson, Fred Banks, Cedric, Mr. Walker, Cedric's father, and it was another black judge. And the whole thing about back then, which was so hard, which everybody, I'm glad people are having this conversation. They had to go to Ole Miss because once again, for politically, they had to go to Ole Miss. That's how they had to get on the bench. But of course, they didn't want Jackson State to have a law school because Reuben Anderson, Fred Banks, all those guys, they would have went to Jackson State Law School. That's where they would have went. But there was no option. And we're talking about late 60s, early 70s. So, of course, and they have never thought about ever giving Jackson State a law school because they know what it is. And now you're talking about one of the gatekeepers in the state of Mississippi. That's why they have lock, stock, and barrel that law school. Because you know what they even talked about? And they wouldn't even do it. Ole Miss, technically, and this a lot of people don't remember this, they were supposed to do almost a partnership like this before. They were going to have like a satellite campus in Jackson that Jackson State was kind of going to partner with that. And oh, no, they shut that down quick. So these are the things, like I say, the Reuben Andersons, the Fred Banks, the Chief, all these people that are lions in the legal profession in Mississippi, they had to go to Ole Miss because they were not going to allow Jackson State to have a law school. And this goes way back. Goes way back.
And so, I've been to Ole Miss, and I went to a game. And I went to, before I decided to go to Jackson State, I was already accepted into a DEI program at Mizzou. I went to a summer program, and I was like, I don't want to stay home. So I applied to go to Jackson State. I was in the honors college. I went to UNCG. UNCG's diversity is definitely way different than Ole Miss. The applicants that go there's a lot of minorities that go to UNCG, a lot of minorities compared to Ole Miss, right? Ole Miss is, Colorado Junior, right? And with DEI that they're getting rid of, it's going to shrink, right? So for me, I would, like you said, you have to play the political game, but I don't want to go to Ole Miss. If they were going to do a partnership, which I think that maybe, I don't know what the semantics is with it, but I would be trying to partner with other HBCUs, right?
Well, let me tell you. Let me tell you in defense of Jackson State. Hold on, Tamar. Hold on. I don't want you to get off this point. Hold on. Let me make a point because this one. The reason why it was pretty smart, Jackson State, like shit, we might well make a partnership and get our students scholarship money because they were already going to Ole Miss anyway, and was catching hell just to get through there. So let's see if we can create a smooth transition because you got to understand something. If you're in Mississippi, you're going to, and not going to go out the state, you're going to go to Ole Miss Law School. You're going to go. Chucky, how many of you all know Chucky Blunson and Frank Blunson and remember all those guys? They all went to Ole Miss. They were some of the first people to go to Ole Miss Law School. This is for my Jackson people. So my point of it is, it's better for, I understand, it's like, if you're going to get screwed, at least let me control the screw, right? But, instead of you doing the way.
I remember when Mr. Walker, Cedric was talking about that, and he said somebody threw a brick at his daddy's head.
Yes, listen, Walker, Fred Banks, Reuben Anderson, and like I said, you can Google, this is all historic. They caught utter hell. The fact that they got through law school, and then again, these people all became Mississippi Supreme Court justices. Okay? Think about this. Well, two of them, I think Cedric's father was a chancery judge. Again, like I say, I'm just speaking out like I'm speaking quick. But I know Fred Banks and Reuben Anderson definitely did. So my point of it is, yes. And this was the thing. So I understand the partnership to say, okay, let's have a plan where our students that are pre-law can go ahead and, I guess, collect credits, do whatever they got to do. And, whatever, like there might be some financial incentives. Mm-hmm. Because, again, them going on the outside was catching hell. So I understand. I mean, like I said, this is no good choice. This is the same thing. FAMU had a law school. The state of Florida, racists took it away, right? We wanted to bring the law school back. They said, well, no, we ain't going to have it in Tallahassee. We'll put it all the way down in Orlando. just to have that separation. Because we got a law school in Tallahassee. What I got to do with it? We had the law school for Florida State.
Right.
And you shut our law school down to create Florida State's law school. And then so you don't have the synergies that you would have if the law school was connected, in Tallahassee, you know what I mean? With a pre-law. So then you have this disconnect.
Right, especially for like the HBCU culture being able to experience that as if you're grad, maybe you didn't get a chance to experience that, or an extension, it's like you said, it's separated. So
wait a minute, hold on. You know what? Hold on. Wait a minute, Simona. Russell Haynes said an Ole Miss degree will get you a job or interview for J. Let me tell you something. First of all, that's wrong. And I will, and this is, I know because I'm from Mississippi, and two, I know this is a fact. An Ole Miss degree only carries weight in the state of Mississippi. It don't travel nowhere else. And trust me when I say, and I know this, a Jackson State degree, because here's what happens. And I think a lot of people know, when these Fortune 500 companies go recruiting for black people, they come to HBCUs. You know who those people that come to hire on HBCU is usually another person that's an HBCU alum. I'm speaking from experience when I worked at IBM. So you know what? When I saw somebody from Ole Miss, I saw somebody from Southern FAMU, Jackson State, I talked to them. So don't ever believe that an Ole Miss, LSU, and especially ain't none of these SEC schools are good schools other than Vanderbilt, Florida, and Georgia, and Texas A&M now, and Texas. All of these schools were built for poor white folks. They are not academic powerhouses. Ole Miss is the best of the worst. Okay? So don't even run that game. And I'm telling you, I will show you, and I'm talking about black alumni. I ain't talking about no white alumni. I will show you black alumni for Ole Miss versus black alumni at Jackson State. It's not even close. I'll tell you another quick story. This is a side note, Simona. I have a friend of mine, I know a lot, used to do stuff with football players. A lot of my friends, Dallas Cowboys. There were guys at Texas A&M. You know what they told me? When they stopped playing NFL football, they had more people from Prairie View that offered them jobs than people from Texas A&M. Because you know why? The Prairie View people were all the vice presidents, directors, and the managers that had the ability to hire them. And then when they go to the white folks at Texas A&M, they act like they didn't know them. And I'm telling you what I know. So Russ, I don't know what universe you live in, but I'm telling you now, Ole Miss degree don't carry no weight. Now the law degree is good. They, like I said, it's good law school. But just if you put that Ole Miss degree, go there, and like I said, you come here in Atlanta and you say you went to Ole Miss, I'm like, yeah, okay. Ain't no different. Yeah, all right. It's not like it's Vanderbilt. Like, come on, man. Stop it. So I just say that because I don't like when people misrepresent our level of academic excellence, which has been proven. And I'm talking about for all our universities. This ain't a FAMU thing and stuff like that. But I'm offended because, first of all, my mother worked in HR for 40 years for State Farm. So this is what I do know. Because I'm going to say one thing, too, real quick, just to check you. I asked my mother this question. She worked at HR for State Farm for 40 years. I said, who do you all hire? Would you hire somebody from a PWI that had a 3.0, right? A 3.0, because we're going to say that's the better school, or somebody from an HBCU that had a little bit higher GPA or equal GPA. She said, we're going to hire a person from the HBCU. Because what we have found out, because again, we're talking about black people, I ain't talking about white. We'll find out that more likely than not, that HBCU student is going to stay at the job longer and produce better. This comes from State Farm. Why do you think State Farm give all that money to black folks? They know where it's at. So,
hence why they have all of these different connections to, especially IT, tech, engineering. They have all of these.
Yeah, man. Come on, man. Yeah, don't.
Fellowships.
And let me say one other thing too. Now I'm gonna go back to his story.
HBCUs.
Do you know like I said, I don't know, Russ, I don't know how old y'all. You know who had the premier computer science program and really helped when you remember with Y2K, Simone, and all that? Jackson State had one of the premier, probably still does, computer science program. This goes back in the 70s. You had people from Iran and Europe coming to Jackson State. For anybody that's my age, all those Iranians that came that are still in Jackson, that's because they came for the Jackson State computer science program. Computer science. So when Y2K happened, all those old heads from Jackson State, they was making hundreds of thousands of dollars because they were the one writing the code for all that stuff back in the day. I'm telling you what I know. So you gonna tell me they weren't looking for Ole Miss people, computer science people. They were looking for Jackson State people. Xerox, IBM. Come on, man. So I'm just telling you what I know. So again, like I say, yeah. So I'm sorry, Tamara, I didn't mean it, but see I just hate when I see that, and that's been misrepresented to talk about Ole Miss when I know you're not even from the state of Mississippi, don't even know about Ole Miss.
Facts. And that's not to say that we have a lot of HBCU alums that do go on to law schools outside of HBCUs, and they do and Ivy League, and you know, and they do very well, right? It translates. There's not a drop off for academic prowess when it comes to the master, the PhD, residency. From I went to a HBCU at the undergrad level, translating over to the higher level. So, you know, I feel like you said, for FAMU, this is going to be a lesson, but this is actually a message to all HBCU presidents, right? To stay on code when it comes to any and all things, right? Because they're always going to be looking for you to slip up.
Yeah. So so this is going to be very interesting. Back to your topic again. I'm sorry I got off track. You know, I get very passionate about when people misrepresent the academic capabilities.
We are here.
It just, but because I don't like that, because it's like somebody writes some talking point, and then the lie starts, and then I have to end that lie. But back to the FAMU thing, to what your point was. Whoever the new president is going to be interesting as how much, again, that backdoor politics and how much they're going to be associated with Ron DeSantis and his administration and things like that. And I think we're all going to be concerned about that. But but far as who they hire, again, it's going to be somebody that's going to drive that school to R1.
You said, I remember you stating the other day that it's in Florida's best interest as well to have Florida A&M as an R1 institution.
Absolutely, because see, I think what people see, this is why R1 is so important. You guys got to understand, and for the people down in Texas will understand this. The University of Texas, they get so much R1 money. You know what happens? So then you've got companies like Dell and all these tech companies all around, because they're partnering with the colleges. And they're building businesses and they're business partnerships. So when you have R1 research done, there comes a whole business industry that comes along with that supports the R1 research. So you're talking about job creation too that R1 does. You show any school that has R1, there's a whole group of businesses that support that research. So of course, what does Ron DeSantis want? He wants jobs to the state, right? So if you got in the city of Tallahassee, Florida State, which is R1, which I was shocked. I had to look that out. I knew Florida was. I didn't know what Florida State was. So Florida State, and you have Florida State and FAMU, and then of course you know how white people are going to do. They're going to figure out the way where the government has some minority grant, and Florida State going to say, "Well, come on, FAMU, let's partner together so we can all get this money." And there are going to be industries that pop up around that.
Right.
So that's the thing about it. So R1 is so important. So like I said again, and that's what Jack State, and I think Tomorrow, I don't know if you had that article. If Jack State gets R1, right, the level of businesses that are ready to support that and the economic impact, I think I sent that to you a couple of months ago because I think you guys had, you remember when you guys announced that you had raised $100 million in research, because this was direct. But I think, and again, if I didn't send it to you, I was talking to people and they were talking about, again, the economic impact when they get R1, because all these different companies will come to Jackson and want to partner with Jackson State because it's in the capital. It's a hub. It's a lot of money.
Right. And that's why there's a takeover. It's kind of silent right now. But once the money, the 600 million was announced for water restoration, right? And then now we have Medgar Evers Boulevard is going to be restored as well. That's close to what? Almost, I'll say a bill. Is that $1 billion?
Easy. And here's the thing, Benny Thompson, those restorations, Benny Thompson sent that money to the city of Jackson years ago, and they've been screwing them.
Right. So that's $1 billion that is sitting right there in Jackson, right? So when I was looking at why the state of Mississippi is not able to transplant large groups of Black people like other places like Chicago or Charlotte or some of these other cities, Baltimore, Maryland. Well, Baltimore, Maryland is still kind of Black, but they're starting the gentrification. So one of the reasons why Jackson has been able to be a stronghold of minorities there is because those other places had a lot of government intervention in the way of HUD housing projects and stuff like that. So they were housing large amounts of minorities in these types of housing developments. And because they're owned by the government can, whenever they feel like it, remove you from those places and place you somewhere else, right? At Jackson, the state of Mississippi has never taken that initiative to necessarily invest in those types of things. So you can't just move people out of Jackson at a high rate. So with that being said, in the next 10 to 15 years, they're still going to try to figure out a way to transplant these large groups of minorities. So that's why you need to hold your property in Jackson, buy Jackson, and you need to try to do some gentrifying of your own, but keeping it owned by minorities, right? Because they're getting ready to come.
Listen, here's the thing. The state of Mississippi, this is once again, is why it's so backwards. You see Birmingham, Charlotte, Columbia, South Carolina, Atlanta, places, Memphis, Tennessee is even doing this. Understanding that you got to have some type of partnership with Black people because money will come, right? Mm-hmm. Only the state of Mississippi does not realize that the city of Jackson should be $1 billion city because of their backwards plan ways. And some white person say, you know what, Black person, let's make some money together, right? I'm still gonna cheat you, but I'm gonna help you make some money. That's what they do in Atlanta. You know what I mean? They still cheat the Black people in Atlanta, but it's still money being made, right? You have people, and the only time what happens is no different. So instead of investing in Jackson, which will bring in more business because of where Jackson is sitting, at the crest of I-20 and I-55, north, south, east, west, you'll give money to Mississippi College that has no economic impact at all to the city and to the state. That makes no sense. But what has happened is they want to steal stuff because what does Ole Miss say? Because you guys know in Jackson, all that, now they call it Fondren area. Used to call it Woodland Hills when I grew up. They are trying to buy all that land, and they're trying to go all the way to the Jackson Mall. I talked to Ken and Zoe about this. So all those people that live in that area, they have their grandmamas now. It's got a lot of people moved and stuff like that. All those little roads, you better go get them because I'm telling you, that is the plan. They are trying to come all the way, and they're going to knock down the Jackson Mall, and they're going to try to wipe that whole thing out. I'm telling you. And it's just a few progressive white people that understand about money that's trying to do it. Because the legislature back, it would have been done. It would have been done.
Right.
Like they've done in Georgia and all these other places where they get these white folks money to go in there and grab land from Black people. So that's the thing. And I see it coming. I see it coming. I see exactly what they're trying to do. Why do you think they put that Capitol police zone there? that's gonna push out. They're setting it up.
Which, I mean, that's in limbo, right?
Yeah,
They haven't
what it
pushed
should be.
forward with the Supreme Court or anything. They're kind of like stalling it. So we don't have a determination. Like right now, we had Merrick Garland as an interested party on that particular lawsuit, right? And it hasn't gone anywhere.
It's ridiculous. That should have been thrown out. That like I say again, it's everybody knows. All the legal scholars know that's illegal. It's not even close. But again, that's just the thing. But my point of the partnerships that you've seen in the past that could make the city of Jackson State grow. But get back to the Jackson State point. That's why R1 is so important, because R1, they control their own destiny, right? So that money comes directly, unless like how they get screwed from the state by being R1. Guess what? The money comes directly to Jackson State. That's why R1 is also so important as HBCUs. This is not something that the state gets a hold of and says, "Oh, we're gonna divvy it out to you."
Right. It'll be bypassed, which is what
it'll be bypassed. It'll go right to our bottom line. It'll go right to North Carolina A&T's bottom line. It'll go right to Jackson State's bottom line. It'll go right to FAMU's bottom line. And we're talking hundreds of millions of dollars in research dollars. So that's why that's so important for us to get that money, because again, when we get underfunded, like we do, like I say, just the fact that and again, and I'm saying this respectfully, the fact that Thompson had to go get $23 million, come on, man, that's disrespectful.
And he had to play hardball to get it. Like we were laughing,
and that's not and we.
But let's just keep it a buck. That was one of those, I'm from, which that was one of my things that I was interested in. I was like, okay, IHL picked you, and you're from IHL. I'm gonna see what it is that you're one of the good old boys, because you're from IHL. You've been there for years. How that's gonna benefit me? Yeah,
and that's what you're going to show. And Dave, what I'm talking about, not no, there's levels. I ain't talking about Jack State's getting $100 million. We done raised $100 million. Y'all raised. I'm talking about hundreds of millions, $400 or $500 million. You understand? These PWIs are getting billions of dollars because they're R1. I ain't talking about the $100 million. We doing that on our own. I'm talking about because you're R1, somebody gives you a grant for $200 million over 10 years. That's what I'm talking about. That's why we're all fighting for R1. Because again, that's money directly that we can control that builds the university. So of course, I want all of these schools to get this R1 status. I don't care who gets there first, who gets there last. I just want everybody to get it.
Right. Any last words, Mr.
No, tomorrow, like I said, we'll see how we'll see how this plays out. I hate that.
It's one of those things that's developing, right? And
yeah.
In the coming weeks,
did I send you? Wait, did I send you the link of who the guy's going to be? Let me text you the link. You put this up real quick.
Okay.
Let me just real quick this is the guy. Where is this at? Hold on one second. I'm gonna send you the link to this. Where is it?
They already announced the interim? That's crazy.
Did you get that text from me?
Yeah, I just heard it go off.
Yeah, post that real quick in his background, and then look at what school he went to.
Wait, what school? Okay. Before I post that, I'm gonna ask you a question because I have to go get my phone.
Okay.
Can you talk a little bit about how your president searches have been working out? You haven't had one in 7 years, but.
Well, yeah, because Ammons came. He was already at FAMU. You see what I'm saying? And then before Dr. Ammons It might have been a guy before that, before Dr. Humphreys. Now we're going way back almost 20-something years. Because you got to say Dr. Humphreys was there for a good bit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So Dr. Humphreys left Tennessee State, which is funny how the dominoes fell. Dr. Hefner left Jackson State to go to Tennessee State because Dr. Humphreys left Tennessee State to go to FAMU. So there's a little quick connection. And Walter Reed left Jackson State to come to FAMU because of Humphreys. So it's kind of interesting right there. So there you go. So Dr. Amos was a FAMU guy. Now, Elmira Mangum, she came from I think she came from Brown. And I was really excited about her. She was a woman and things like that, but she did not. Now, Dr. Mangum did not understand the politics of FAMU. That's what killed her.
Mm-hmm.
She did not understand that Tallahassee Mafia, and they got her. Because I know people that were on the board that tried to sit down with her and say, hey, let me just tell you the lay of the land, but you got to know, right? And she was like, no, I'll just figure it out on my own. Yeah. So that, and then, so she left. And then, of course, you had Dr. Robinson, who had been around FAMU. So honestly, we have not had anybody other than Dr. Mangum that, quote unquote, was from the outside that had not worked at FAMU. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, there you go. Fred Gaines. Thank you, EA. There you go. I couldn't remember. I knew it was somebody there. So all these people had been around FAMU, you know what I mean? Adjacent. So they kind of knew it. So that's going to be the thing that's going to be interesting if they go the opposite direction.
Okay. So this is Dr. Beard, Timothy L. Beard. He actually went into retirement last year, right? He came out of retirement. He was in retirement. Yeah, Pasco Hernando State College president. He's worked for Pasco Hernando State College since 2007, previously serving as vice president of student development and enrollment management. The enrollment increased more than 40%. He was the dean of student affairs for University of South Alabama in A&M, and the director of student affairs and enrollment manager at Florida A&M in Tallahassee. So he's had some dealings with FAMU. During his career, he held positions including director of graduate student and enrollment management services, director of institutional research assessment. So there's that, and special programs. So there's that research misnomer, and director of career services at Florida A&M, Florida State University in Tallahassee, and assistant career counseling and placement center director at Florida A&M. Good Lord, he had a lot of stuff going on at Florida A&M. Beard earned his doctoral degree in rehabilitation counseling from Florida State University in Tallahassee, and he also holds a master's degree and bachelor's degree in rehabilitation counseling from Florida State University. So he's a Florida State alum, but it seems like he gained the majority of his experience at FAMU.
Right. So I don't know the brother. So like I said, I'm not gonna comment on it. But like I said, I just found it he got his degree for the state. But he worked at FAMU. So so I'm pretty sure he's a known entity. Probably knows the people. Again, a lot of that is just him keeping the lights on until they pick the new president.
Okay. They also have Daryl Parks, who's an attorney and businessman. He has an undergraduate degree from FAMU.
Well, yeah, Daryl is like a big brother to me. So Daryl Parks, for a lot of you guys, Daryl Parks and Ben Crump were law partners. Daryl is a super rattler. So if Daryl, super rattler. Daryl is a superstar FAMUan. A superstar FAMUan.
Can he go get some of them billions of dollars that y'all need?
Tell you what, there's one thing EA noticed, that doggone Daryl Parks is a political operator. That brother from Haines City, Florida. So that brother, hey, if he could go,
is he gonna go to the governor and say, tell him bring me my money? Is he gonna do that?
Listen, he would do that. He would do that. But he do it in a nice way. He do it in a nice way. But Daryl Parks, that's like one of my big brothers. That brother tight. That brother is tight. Yeah, Daryl Parks, he's a FAMU superstar. Everybody knows that.
Okay, so what's gonna happen with the basketball coach who did he even get his 1-year contract before the president president shut down? Is he still a volunteer? Like, what is going on?
Yeah, I think that's supposed to be, from my understanding, they're supposed to have another meeting to resolve that. But he's not going anywhere. I mean, they're not going to. I mean, he's not going to go anywhere. Yeah. So, because he's recruiting. Got Jackson that averaged 1 point.
So y'all saw some of those commits and y'all said, okay, we can keep them.
No, listen, I'm going to tell you, wait a minute. I want to be clear. Majority of the people, and this is the thing about it, Coach Gordon, which I'm a big women's basketball fan, so I knew Coach Gordon was automatically from Tennessee. I thought that was a great hire. I think even with Coach Crary, I don't think anybody had no beef with him and everything, not like it was with the football team. You had a couple of people say, oh, you maybe could have got this. And you saw a couple of names like Byron Scott interviewed, and I think it was another guy. But the only other guy I think everybody wanted was the white guy from the NAIA school, the Division II school that was Langston. Yeah, I think everybody else was cool. They were cool with the hire. Nobody was like, oh, no. Because the people, that's the thing. If she was going to make her mark, basketball is where she should make her mark at. That was the thing. That was her play. If she had to play this thing right, like I say, self-inflicted. The thing with Willie, not coming to the alumni saying Willie wanted that money because he would have got the money, but he still probably was going to go to Duke. But the point was, it shouldn't have even got to that level. The Cozy thing, and compared to the guy Gibbs, that was on her. But the basketball thing, Coach Gordon was a good hire. Because our basketball is so bad. That's what people's not going to mess with her about it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where you build.
I feel like it was kind of like basketball notoriously has been kind of like, I mean, I don't want to say it, but a throwaway program, right?
Yeah, it has. It has for a lot of HBCUs at that. And the thing about it is the basketball program is the one that can get you the most money the quickest. Because you can go to the tournament and get them checks. Ask Texas Southern.
Ask Grambling. Dear Grambling.
Yeah. So the thing about it is, and it doesn't take a lot of players to create a good basketball team. That's the thing about it. You get 2.5 good players, you can win the conference.
And FAMU has nice facilities to
beautiful facilities.
For
beautiful
the basketball program.
So that's the thing about it. When you're in a big state like Florida, right there where you got a hub in Atlanta, where you could talk to all those basketball players between Florida and Atlanta, FAMU should easily, like I say, it's certain states because there's so many people, North Carolina, Florida, Texas, that you should just, because there's just players there, because there's so many people. So you build. So what she should have did was build a basketball program, fix the APR. I'm talking about easy wins that people couldn't question her. You see what I'm saying? And things like that. Fix that. Learn on the job. Keep your head down. Not get with people talking about, again, because you understand, I got to make this point. The reason why we call her OBG is because her girl put that nickname out there. We didn't do that. Her girl wrote a whole article talking about she the original big girl. So that was silly. That's bad. That was just foolishness. That's immaturity. So no, that's crazy. So then, so like I say, baseball was already good. Volleyball was fine. Softball was fine. So again, and then now, and what happens is tennis was fine. And then what do? And then you make up a big stink about a guy making $500 the PA announcer. You know what I'm saying? That's just self-inflicted. Self-inflicted. That's ridiculous. So keep your head down, learn what's going on, learn the people, and then make your moves. Because like I say, I would have sat back, football, let that ride out, fix the APR, because that's where you could have got a win at. You get that, and then build that basketball program. Huh?
Y'all did fix the APR. Y'all did fix it.
Yeah, what I'm saying, but that's the point. But even again, but my point of it is, if she would have handled football right, then people wouldn't have been on her head. And then she could have gotten things that she could control where she said, well, hey, I can do this, because nobody could challenge her because the APR was in the hole, right? Basketball is in a hole. So that's when you could go out on a limb and make these decisions. Take chances, take risks.
I mean, the women's basketball team going to the SWAC tournament was an accomplishment.
That was a huge accomplishment.
Now we have a situation where everybody gets to go. So,
yeah, well, that was huge.
Right.
Yeah, that was huge.
Right.
But the point of it is, Coach Gordon has got the women's basketball team on the right track. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. I think Coach Gordon's going to have that team with a winning record. I believe in Coach Gordon. But again, so those are things that you could take credit for.
You said FAMU is going to have a winning record this year.
No, yeah. I think FAMU's women's team is going to have a winning record. Absolutely.
Okay.
I don't think we're going to win 20. I don't think we're going to win 20 games, but I think we're going to win. We'll have a winning record.
Okay. All right.
No. Avis Heath, no. We did not call her big. She called herself big. That's her self-claimed nickname. She called herself the original big girl, not us. She did that.
Original
That's on
big
wax.
girl.
Yes. Timon, am I lying about that?
There was an article that came out. That person actually was from North Carolina.
And that's her friend that wrote it.
I don't know if they're friends, but I know she said that's the original big girl. So that's why.
Well, she said that. She says what she called herself. In the article, she said that's what Dawn Sykes calls herself, the original big girl.
OBG.
OBG.
Well, we'll see.
Avis, don't worry. Avis, listen. Avis, I'm gonna tell you, Avis, don't worry about it. When she comes to Jackson, I'm gonna make sure that you and her meet, and I'm gonna buy y'all some drinks so you can go ahead and shoot your shot at her.
When who comes to Jackson?
When original big girl come to Jackson?
When she coming to Jackson?
She gonna come for the game.
She's not making it to October 19th, is she?
You don't think she gonna think? You don't think she gonna make it to? You know what? We might need to put up a poll. You might need to put up a poll. You think OBG will make it to October 19th?
I'm not trying to be funny. I didn't even know. That.
You don't think she gonna make it to October 19th?
I don't know. I thought that you guys. I don't know how long the process will take. I know for Jackson State, what was it? 4 to 6 months.
Yeah, so that means she should make it to October.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So, okay, OBG, come see how the Tigers do it. It's the year of the Tigers.
And hang out with Avis. Avis got that whole section. She can go over there. She can wear her snakeskin dress.
Well, I don't think she'll be wearing that in October. It's a little cold for that. I mean,
but she wore it in Tallahassee. It was in January.
Okay, they're saying that she's gonna probably ride out her contract. Y'all not getting ready to pay out more people, right? She riding that out.
She'll have what, 2 years left?
2 more years. Yeah.
Like I said, I know people that's ready to buy her out right now. I think they raised that money faster than they raised the money for Willie.
The money quicker than 48 hours.
Listen, you saw how quick we raised that money for Willie. I think if they put that out for OBG,
money so quick for Coach Simmons.
Babe.
Oh, and,
it will be.
And then y'all been slow rolling whenever she come through to go to these other places. Y'all will give a little bit of money, but y'all not doing it like how y'all did in 24 hours. Y'all done raised 200.
Yeah, well, that's on her. That's on her.
How you gonna fix it? You done messed me up the jobless visit.
They would raise that money faster than they had that money for Willie.
How you gonna fix it? You done messed me up the jobless visit. I done called the police because I'm doing a refund. A refund is due unto me. Don't feel like I just been abused down here today. God, ain't pleased like this. You can't do the same like this. Boy, I don't even know if I'm gonna sit out here till the police come too. I'm gonna sit out here till the police come. I'm doing a refund. Cause I'm due one to me. How you gonna fix it? You done messed me up the jobless visit.
Oh, I had to tease.
Yeah.
You know what that that video of that young man, he was going to the football facilities to go to practice, and he was swiping his card and trying to open up the door, and it wasn't open.
And it wasn't open.
He said,
they go cut a card off.
Did they cut me? Dang, I think I got cut. He kept swiping it.
Listen, she gonna know when she try to log in at home on that computer, and then it's gonna be say access denied. That's gonna be a wrap. They're gonna tell them, you ain't got to drive in. Phone get FAMU phone get cut off.
Dang, you guys be giving out FAMU phones?
I'm pretty sure she got a school phone.
I don't want a FAMU school phone because you guys are a public institution and everything is public knowledge and information.
That is true.
A FAMU phone, that means they can go back and look at all
okay, well, here's the thing to all the Mississippi folks. How you think Hugh Freeze got fired down at Ole Miss? He had an Ole Miss phone. And there was folks from Mississippi State subpoenaed the records and saw he was right there calling call girls. That's how they called him.
What?
Yeah. That's why Hugh Freeze is out the coach at Ole Miss right now. Right there calling prostitutes on the Ole Miss phone.
Oh Lord, that is just wow.
Yeah. Wow. So if y'all didn't know that, y'all better watch that.
So I think it's funny because, not necessarily funny, but ironic, right? Because Jackson State, as far as like our presidents, right? We've had a couple of debacles. So now it's kind of like full circle, right? Because now your president had stepped down, and now everything that we went through in the last year and a half, that now you guys are going through it, right? We lost our football coach, players to the portal, hiring a new coach. Our transition was a lot more seamless for the football coach, right? New president, and you guys are going through the same thing now.
Yeah. Well, that's what's so funny. I thought I tell people, Mr. Campbell sneak this, and because what I made a statement, I said, and which was it was not just that. It was I said. And what I said was there are multiple HBCUs that have had more presidents during Larry Robinson, 3 or 4 presidents, than as long as Larry Robinson been there. So, I mean, it's not like HBCUs don't turn over presidents.
Especially the new presidents from which they don't.
So like I say, it wasn't no sneak. This is a fact. So like I say, keep it 100. Let's not act up like people, presidents ain't been acting up or all around the joint. Okay? So stop it. There's no sneak this. That's a fact. And I stand on whatever I say. That's easy. My number public. You know where I'm at.
And he's undefeated, y'all. You don't really want to go to war, Mr. Campbell, now when it comes to.
It's all good. It's just funny. Yeah, we don't. So my point of he's gone. So like I say, it's unfortunate. And the thing about it, which this is what's disappointing, with all these presidents that have all done, it could have been prevented. How about that? Every one of them could have been prevented. It was all self-inflicted. All of them.
You're using that self-inflicted. Oh my God, these wounds are all self-inflicted, right?
Yeah, that's it. Come on, that is self-inflicted. It wasn't nobody. Dr. Robinson is not resigning because of his record at FAMU for his work, right?
Right. Because when it comes to the academic profile, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. That's not why. That's self-inflicted. I thought, and I mean, again, you guys can say better. I thought Dr. Hudson was doing a pretty good job at Jackson State. I knew he loved,
Well,
I thought he was.
He gets to keep his job. He gets to keep his job.
Who, Dr. Robinson?
Yep. A job. He gets to take us.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, that's smart. So that's what I'm saying. So these guys, you know, all that shouldn't have happened to them.
Yes, they did. They must have cut me.
You know it's bad when you pull on that door and that door don't pull out. You know it's bad when you pull on that door, boy.
Damn, y'all really cut me.
Well, you pull on that door and somebody got to let you in.
Oh,
Damn.
yes. I forgot my code.
No more
They ain't cut
car. You're supposed to be getting a deposit in
They must
the
have cut me.
bank for your car. They supposed to be depositing $750 for your car rider,
Already?
and you don't get that payment. What's going on?
God damn, y'all really cut me.
So, you know, yeah, that's how it rolls out, right?
Well, see, that's why Dr. Robinson was smart. That's why Dr. Robinson said, before y'all cut my key card off, I'm out.
He said, I'm gonna take a break. I'll be back in about a year. You know, y'all can
that's smart. Listen, that is smart the way he did it. That is smart. Don't have them like I said. You walk up there and you can't get in the building. So now he go out the way he want to go out.
Don't do it where they collecting the stuff for you. You don't get to go to your office to collect your things.
Listen, they had that box with the security guy that handed to you outside.
Lord, don't do it like that. Like I said, I still think that they'll be tabbing him for all things academic research. Well, you know, in their best interests, right?
Yeah. He in good shape. And look, here's the thing too, Timona, real quick. Let's be clear. His contract was up in December anyway, and a lot of people were talking about he was going to retire anyway.
When you say retire, you mean retire to become a professor or retire?
Yeah, retire from being president at FAMU. A lot of people talking about he was thinking about retiring too. So, you know, sometimes things kind of work out. You know, he might have, you know, saw the writing on the wall, knew some other things was coming down the pike, and said, you know what, let me get out, but you know,
Blue
before y'all
said
put me
that's
out.
why Maynard's bringing his stuff to the Birmingham.
He better. And I know exactly where that U-Haul is, right there off the highway. I pass by it all the time. I used to go to Jackson, so I can give him directions to that place.
Did you get the U-Haul coupon for Dr. Robinson, or is he good? He don't have to move, you know.
No, see, that's the thing about he ain't got to go nowhere. He good. He good. Well,
okay.
I guess what he gonna need. He will need the U-Haul. He will need the U-Haul to go down a couple of blocks to take the stuff out of the president's house to where he probably got a house in Killorn. So he might need
he got to move out the president's house. He got to move out the president's house. So he
gonna have to get out the president's house now. Oh yeah. Now they got to get the boxes ready.
All right, so you know, in fashion, I would think that would be very biased of me to only look up the U-Haul services for Coach Maynard. I really think that we need to be looking for the U-Haul for Coach for Dr. Robinson too, because I was told that they have a special on in-town moves. So if you're moving in Tallahassee, right down the street, you should be able to get a good price. I want to say it's $19.95.
Yeah.
I want to say
what they give you? They give you 200 miles? They give you how many miles? They give you like first 100 miles free?
Let's go ahead and check that out to see, because I'm pretty sure that it's $19.95. You know, you got moving help, need last minute help, because you know this was last minute, right? Here it is right here. U-Haul has the largest selection of trucks for renew. It's only $19.95 plus mileage and fees. Only $20.
Yeah, he got that.
So, you know, and being that FAMU has such a vast alumni network, right? I just know y'all got some realtors
No, he probably already got a crib out there. He probably already got a house down there already.
So, yeah, take advantage of that. $19.95 plus mileage. That's a steal, right? And maybe they'll just say, okay, we don't need to really do any more conclusion of the. I haven't really heard anything else of the investigation, right?
Well, no, that report is supposed to be coming out.
When is that supposed
I think in the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Ooh. Well.
Nope, Jerome, we are not going in. We'll be right here in the SWAC, brother. Right here in the SWAC.
Would FAMU hire a white person? No. Not to
be the president?
Absolutely the.
Nah, that ain't happening.
No, we ain't. And you know what? I'm not saying that to be racist or anything, but there's a couple of things that should be held sacred. And being the president of an HBCU, that
right, there'd be more than a mutiny, bro. Now, true, bruh. White guy that graduated from Florida State, president of FAMU. Talking about he knows what FAMU is at.
Trying to do is he gonna be doing this or this?
Yeah. Good luck on that.
Yeah, that's
it ain't no white man. It ain't no white man that's gonna die. It ain't no white man that's gonna die on that hill. Literally.
I mean, didn't they try that with your coach?
Well, Smitty wanted the job. You talking about a football coach?
Right.
Yeah, well, Smitty wanted the job. Yeah, he wanted the job. Okay. He was assistant head coach. He wanted the job. He interviewed for it.
Right.
Well, I don't think anybody would have had a problem, but that's different, though. That's different.
Oh, that's different.
Yeah, well, he had been at FAMU.
Okay.
Yeah, he'd been at FAMU.
So a FAMU alum that's white, can they be the president?
Yeah, sure. We'll take a white boy. Man, listen. Hey, man, listen. We get a white boy that's passing, put him up there. We had a couple of white boys playing the band, but when a white boy that played in the band.
Booker, you're talking about a Cory Booker or a Charles McClellan?
No, you said light. I thought you said white.
I said light. Light,
oh,
bright.
I thought you said white.
You know the saying, light, bright.
Oh, okay. I thought you said a white guy. Yeah, I said we'll take a white rattler, be president. Right, white rattler. Come on, white rattlers.
Everybody, please join me. See, I didn't have wine. I had Starbucks because it was the middle of the day. And, you know, this particular news was wine worthy, but it's the middle of the day. I'm not going to drink no glass of wine. But tomorrow night, bring your wine, your water, your ginger ale, because it is SheLovesThee SWAC Saturday. I will be having a pre-SWAC Media Day.
Hey, Timona, I tell you what, one thing before you get off, make your announcement again about where you will be and what you need for SWAC Media Day. Give you another post, another shout out about that.
Okay, yes. So it is official. I will be attending SWAC Media Day, and I am taking donations for SWAC Media Day. I did purchase my flight and my hotel, but I have other associated costs. A Uber for one from the hotel, food. What else do I need? I need another microphone, and I need some funds to help with a videographer. So I have the deposit, which it's about $350, I think, for a photographer. I have about $150, and any and all donations will be appreciated, because when I go to SWAC Media Day, I'm going to be bringing you all of the interviews, inside deets, and I'll be asking the questions that everybody wants to know, right? The questions that the fans have, I will be, asking all those questions. So if you want to know from the commissioner why they decided to change the format of the basketball tournament, I'll ask him that question. All you have to do is fill out that form, which I'll drop the form tomorrow. And you can ask the question, whatever question you have for your coaches. If you want me to ask a question, I'll be dropping that link. Submit your questions. But yes, I am headed to SWAC Media Day, and I am taking donations for my traveling cost, my carry-on, and not my carry-on, the luggage that I take underneath, because I have to take my lights. I have to take my, what is this? My banner. I have to take all of that with me. Hello, David.
Hey, what's going on?
Oh, Lord. Don't start no mess on here.
I'm simple.
All right, Mr. Campbell, you have a special guest on here, David from North Carolina A&T. Y'all know how y'all family.
Man, we're not
look, I got a lot of family with the North Carolina A&T. I got, like I said, my family's from North Carolina. I had to check them for me. I love Dave, and Dave's my guy. It's my nephew. Let's do it. Dave, where the video games at, bro? Well, you must not be at home chilling.
No, well, nah, I just got off of work, so I'm.
Oh, okay, good for you.
Turn the camera on, so.
Okay, no, that makes sense. I got you.
Yeah, I'm competing tonight, so we're gonna see how it goes tonight.
So, Super Dave, you over here with you got the government, David. I didn't even know your name was David. I just thought it was David.
David. Let me tell you something. In the workplace, that's what the name is.
David.
Yeah, the workplace,
They got one of them good black jobs. I got one of them good black jobs too, boy. Ain't you an engineer?
I'm the director of IT ops at my gig, man. I work for the Federal Service.
Yes, he got one of them good black jobs.
Oh yeah, I don't mess around. But nah, I used to do engineering work, but they moved me to IT because they need to fill a spot. But you promote me, I don't care.
Yeah. I don't know how you got that job by going to HBCU. I have no idea.
I don't know either, man. I don't understand.
You should have went to North Carolina, Dave, or State, or Wake Forest. No way a person from North Carolina A&T could get a job like that.
They wouldn't let me in, bro. My grades were trash.
Listen, hey, Dave, real quick. Let me tell you what's so funny. And you gonna understand this because of the way A&T has moved up, bro. All us old heads for FAMU, we couldn't even get in the FAMU now.
Oh no, absolutely not. I told my daughter is a rising senior in high school right now, and I told her, I was like, you got the grades getting A&T. If the requirements were what they are now, wouldn't have a shot in the day.
Yeah, bro.
I'll be at Midlands Technical College in Columbia. Telling you, wouldn't have gotten in. So, my endowment is based off that because I made a decision when we did an endowment. We did it based off kids that had under 3.0 GPAs. Because of that,
So Dave, thank you for coming to the panel. Were you interested in making a comment related to this topic, or
I'm praying for FAMU, man, because this is like anxiety central right now. Because you're going to have a lot of factors involved about selecting your next president.
Yes, and you said A&T just went through a 9-month-long process with North Carolina, their board of governors, and how they run things. So, can you give us a little bit of insight, or how you think that process should go?
Well, I mean, for me. When the process started, a big thing for me, it ultimately was, my goal was to make sure they didn't just put some random guy in there, right? Somebody that works in the office that don't really have the best interest for A&T. So from my perspective, that was the end goal. And I wanted them to have, like, the Chancellor Search Committee submits three folks, and then the UNC president picks one of those three, or they could potentially add a person that wasn't even part of the process at all. So when I heard that they picked one of the three that was recommended by the committee, I was cool. That was the big thing. I did graduate near the top of my class at A&T, but not at high school, bruh. Not at high school. Not at high school. So I think right now for the alumni, the biggest suggestion I have is just to have that awareness. I know Mr. Campbell's going to have that awareness, but like get more folks to have awareness about what the process is and just be at their neck about everything. That's just my thoughts on it. But
okay, so we get a chance to probably watch this play out in public, right? Whereas usually stuff like this stuff is behind closed doors. And then in Mississippi, they have stuff public, but they also do this thing where they say, we're getting ready to go into, I forgot what it's called.
Closed session?
Yeah, it's a closed session, but they call it something else. It's like executive privilege or something that they insert, and that basically closes everything. So basically they say, hey, we're having a public meeting, and then they immediately go into that session. So then we're not able to see, hear, or, know what's going on back there, right? But for FAMU, all their stuff is out on the table. It's public. We get to see who's saying what. And sometimes, it's a difference between having a meeting behind closed doors and having a blunder or a misstep or a misspeak, right? But when you're doing it and you're in front of, for this particular president search, I'm sure it's probably going to be thousands of people who are
There's going to be a lot of folks that apply for this job.
Not, I'm talking about thousands of people watching, right?
Oh, yeah. Like the thing that was A&T was all NDA based, so it was pretty much like when we found out who was selected, nobody had that name on the list. There was so many other names that were on that list that we heard that could potentially be it, but nobody had that individual on the list. And then when folks started looking into his credentials, we're like, all right, I ain't mad at this. And then when Chancellor Martin said, this was my top pick, this is what I recommended to the board.
So for us, they told FAMU Board of Trustees and the search committee, hey, you guys can't leak this information. You guys can't talk about this outside of this, that, and the third. And I don't know what happened, but I just know that it got leaked, right?
Mm-hmm.
And people were in an uproar. We didn't know where the leak came from, but it got leaked with names. The same thing with the basketball coaching search. That became public. When we actually saw a familiar face in the SWAC, Alcorn's head basketball coach, his name was on that short list, right, of applicants. So it's kind of
former basketball coach was too.
Who?
Will Jones for the basketball position at FAMU.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We didn't get, I don't recall. And you know what? Here's the thing. People can say that I actually covered Jackson State's presidency. I had probably, I want to say 2 or 3 podcasts directly related to who was going to be the president, how they had listening sessions, up until the announcement of the president when I figured out who it was. So I covered that. But once again, we don't have that public forum where we're actually listening and hearing what the conversations are. So
yeah, it's tough, right? Like the only thing when you're a state school, the only thing you can hope for is that you trust the committee to give good candidates. But then it's up to the board of governors or whoever it is for that particular state to make a decision that's the best interest for the institution. And a lot of times that doesn't always fall into place. So
facts. Any last words, Campbell?
Yeah, I gotta shut down too. I got a son to go pick up, so I get it. I just want to swing. I just want to hop on, give my quick thoughts about it. I'm praying for FAMU, man, because this is not gonna be a fun process to watch through. It's not. Because then you don't know what the new guy or gal thinks about the athletic side of the fence.
I think as long as they keep Larry Robinson in an advisory role, they should be fine. That's just it. he was basically a pioneer for the academic research dollars. As long as you keep him in advisory role, and he's a FAMU faithful, so I'm sure he wouldn't have a problem with that, right?
Yeah.
Right, Mr. Campbell?
Nah, listen, I'm like that. I saw how the A&T thing, and you know, I know a lot of those A&T people, and again, you know, I chit chat with Dave and those guys and stuff. So you know, the process worked out. Look like they got a guy that's going to get them. If we get the same type of guy, we'll be fine.
Oh yeah.
So Dave hit it on point. Yeah. So they hit it on point. I think the people at A&T handled it correctly too. Y'all didn't cut up and act a fool and nothing like that. So I think we need to follow y'all lead and just let it play out.
Yeah, because the thing is,
like, work on his Aggie pride. His
I mean, he got time, man. He don't officially start till August 15th. That's his deadline.
Put some bass in his voice.
That's the deadline. August 15th, the deadline.
You don't want none of that Ivy League Aggie pride.
Like
don't call y'all the Wolfpack or nothing. Call y'all out the wrong name, Tar Heel and all that.
Nah, I think the biggest test he's gonna have when he officially starts on August 15th is how he's gonna handle the housing uproar. Because every year we have the housing uproar, so we'll see how he handles that. Then the football season's right around the corner. His first home game is going to be against Winston, so we'll see how he enjoys that. So I mean, he had his mother went to Johnson C. Smith. You know, he had a couple family members that had HBCU ties. So we'll see what he knows real fast. He'll be fine. I think he's going to be fine.
Whoever is the FAMU president, they need to know out the gate how to do the strike. Okay, especially if they graduate.
But that's just a hand sign, so they'll be all right.
I know, but it looked like, and I'm getting ready to go to FAMU. I mean, I'm getting ready to go to SWAC Media Day, so I hope Coach Cozy. Coach Cozy's gonna be like, I am definitely not answering any of her questions. But Coach Cozy, he's got the Florida State chop going and the strike, you know, or it looks like he's getting ready to direct the choir or something. So I'm sure that he's gotten it down now, right? About striking. Like a snake.
Yeah, he had to get the family rhythm down. He had that Florida State, you know.
Right. So, you know,
you get the rhythm down. You know, it's a different part of FAMU compared to Florida State.
So that's going to be a requirement. You're going to have to know how to do the strike. Okay.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
He'll be all right. He'll figure it out.
Tomorrow matter of fact, he'll be in Atlanta. I think 2 weeks from now. I'll make sure I will. If you have a live, I'm going to call in and have him to speak to you.
If FAMU's winning games, he will be okay.
Bro, it's winning solves all problems. That's why we ain't even worried about it.
All of them. That's all it boils down to ultimately. Gotta win.
Don't be Mr. Campbell. Why would you have Coach Cozy call into my show? I'm getting ready to be at SWAC Media Day.
Well, he might not get you know how they did, you know, because you know how they be running them coaches in and out. You might not have time to sit down with them.
Oh, he's celebrity. He only
he's gonna be important. He's gonna be important to a media day. I think he's probably gonna get
and you know how they did y'all last time. They put y'all in that back room where people couldn't even find you. Make sure they put you in that front room next to Tyler Carr and them this time.
No, I don't want to be next. I don't want to be all in the front room.
Man, listen, go ahead and curl that hair and put that makeup on and get in that front room.
Listen, the side room is where it's at, and Blue can attest to that. When it comes to sound.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you want to be ducked off in the corner.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it does be sounding very like the audio's everywhere in there. Because
I need my audio to be crisp, and I need them to be able to hear. So I'm going to be.
Or are you saying that because the side room had the food, or were you closer to the food? Was that the reason? Because I think you and Doc were talking about how good y'all were eating too. Now
we were ducked off in the side room. So there's a main room where everybody's at, right? And it's so loud.
Where's the food at?
The food was outside in the foyer. Or foyer. Okay. Yeah, it was out there. Now, the problem with the food is that when it's time for lunch, that's when ESPN is no longer live. So that's when we can go live, right? You can't go live while ESPN is going on. So that was the problem with why I wasn't able to eat, is because when lunch came out, that's when it's time for me to go live. So that's why I wasn't able to participate with that. But yeah, I'm definitely going to be ducked off in the side room. I guess I could possibly send out emails to all the SIDs, but I feel like Coach Cozy will be like, she ain't gonna ask me no questions over here teasing me about my my strike.
No, I mean, media day is always softball time anyway in the MEAC and the SWAC. So I mean, ain't gonna be too many questions.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, the question
Yeah,
is just
like,
going to be
it ain't like you don't get them hard hitters.
What hard hitters? I'm asking those fan questions, okay? I'm asking the questions, not the softball questions. I'm gonna ask, who's your quarterback? And they'll just be like, well, this is the answer, which is, we haven't finalized who our quarterback is. Unless they bought a quarterback to SWAC Media Day, they usually don't necessarily announce who their quarterback is. Unless you're Alabama, it's Andrew Body, or
I was gonna ask how many teams are bringing a quarterback for Media Day? Do y'all have the list yet?
Yeah, they got the list out.
I want to. Yeah, Andrew Body for sure is in the Alabama State. Miles Crawley is coming from Grambling, but I want to say Mr. Ford said that there's still a race.
Yeah, I remember him saying that. I'm not shocked by that. Brand new coach, so I'm not shocked by that one bit.
Oh, it's great and it's exciting, right? Because we have a lot of new coaches that are in the SWAC. And listen, it's gonna be something. This season, let's talk noise. Let's do what we do. I'm excited for my polls. Is everybody excited for my polls and my weekly picks, or no? They don't.
Very excited.
Mr.
Love it.
The MEAC's going to be interesting this year because of the lack of quarterbacks. That's going to be fascinating.
So basically the MEAC's wide open.
I think it's a 14 race. Some people think it's a 3-team race. I think it's a 14 race. I think Norfolk and Delaware State don't have a shot. I think all the other 4 have some type of inkling of a chance to win that conference. Central should win it. But I mean,
with what quarterback? We ain't gonna.
If you want to believe that Walker Texas Ranger is ready, if Walker Texas Ranger is ready, they should win it. But I think until we can, Morgan State has a top 5 FCS defense, but they have no offense. Their offense is atrocious. Their offense is just as bad as A&T's offense last year. So if they can fix
nobody's
that,
offense is as bad as A&T's offense.
You look at them numbers. Yeah, for Morgan State's offense was bad. It was bad, man.
Well, I tell you that I can tell you've been hanging out with Josh too much. You running there drinking that NCCU juice.
Nah, I got Morgan winning the conference.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Because I was about to say, boy, he must be giving you them free Bojangles ticket coupons. And you running there singing that stuff.
The last thing I need is
not the Aggie Eagle link up.
Yeah, that's what it is. Them boys over there,
He don't work there no more. He got a new gig now.
Okay.
He got a chicken joint now, Big Chicken or whatever it's called.
Oh, okay. Big Chicken. I'm just making sure you ain't getting no coupons for him, so you right here spreading that gospel over here.
What's up here,
this is swag. This swag business over here. We don't fall for that over here, bro.
Okay.
I think Morgan's defense is problematic. I think they should win that conference.
I'm getting ready to pull my flashback, but my flashback was North Carolina Central will not win the MEAC.
I picked Morgan to win the conference. Right now, I got Morgan winning the conference.
I'm talking about last year. I said, North Carolina Central will not win the MEAC. Thank you, Mr. Price.
Let me be clear when I say this. North Carolina Central not winning the MEAC is always a celebration for me. It's that simple for me. So.
Yeah, I heard him.
I'm just cut and dry.
You hear that? Dang.
Nah, Zach. It's Aggie Eagle until further notice. They're still behind in the series, so I ain't worried about that.
Eagle Aggie until North Carolina A&T wins the CAA game. Damn.
We'll win one this year. We're gonna win that many, but we'll win a couple this year. We'll win one this year.
So y'all come back tomorrow night. Listen, I'm gonna have my slides ready. We're gonna do a fundraiser. Bring your wine, your ginger ale, your water, malt liquor. What else can you drink? Coffee, tea. Bring it.
Them screw top. You gonna drink that screw top wine? What's that super XL wine you was drinking? That Brandy told you about?
Yes, I have guava for tomorrow.
Lord have mercy.
Already on chill. It's guava, and yes, it is the twist top wine.
Well, she drank, bro. I think the wine is called XL, double XL, something like. Good Lord.
It is double XL. It's premier wine. Just because it's twist top doesn't mean it's not good.
I gotta go get me another bottle of scotch.
Yeah, I mean, because we're gonna cover the president and his untimely departure, but we're gonna focus on SWAC Media Day and questions. You know, we got them questions, and of course, we're gonna have Mr. Ford on. FAMU, Mr. Campbell, FAMU might not be soft in the middle at defense, but y'all getting ready to be soft in that administration. You're gonna be missing.
We're gonna be all right.
You're gonna be missing a couple of key persons, so I need y'all to strengthen up right there, okay?
Matter of fact, when I got to jump on with my other nephew on another show, but I'm gonna go down there on Cascade Road tomorrow just to see if I can find Mr. Ford. I'm gonna go down there on Cascade Road. I know where they at.
Don't be over there disrupting me.
I'm gonna roll up there on J Ford. Them old heads. I know where they at.
Over there at the Publix, he said. And at
Oh yeah, right over there, ordering them a sandwich and getting that gas over there.
Over there by Applebee's, getting the 2 for $20, ain't it?
Be deep over there at Applebee's. Everybody know what they talking about. Club Applebee's over there on Cascade.
Not Club Applebee's. I am done.
Baby, listen, that's Club Applebee's.
They got $2 Long Islands over there at Applebee's for the 4th of July.
$2 Long Islands. Somebody trying to get killed.
Long Island.
Bruh, listen, that Cascade Road be thick down there, boy.
And they got dollar margaritas as well on Saturdays. So y'all go ahead and go on over there.
I'm gonna take a picture of me and Mr. Ford in front of the Escalade.
I need to see that. Don't make me run down on I need to run down up on Mr. Ford. Because I need to know I need to meet this HBCU street committee, okay? But
they all down there wearing their t-shirt, wearing them t-shirts that 2 sizes too small. Kind of faded out with their class rings.
Who's wearing the shirts 2 sizes too small?
Come on, man. Listen, I know them folks.
Who's doing that, Mr. Campbell?
Come on, them old heads, boy. You know because they don't like them new t-shirts. They gotta have them classic ones, boy. They have their class rings. They gonna have that hat on too. Now, don't get it twisted. They gonna have that hat on.
Oh, so you gonna know what's what then, right?
Oh, listen. As soon as you walk in, you know who's who. You know who's who. As soon as you walk into them with them cats. No doubt about it.
Okay, so Mr. Ford said that he gets all the tea, but he hasn't had a chance. So he'll probably by tomorrow, he'll have the street committee report. So y'all make sure to come back here tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern, because Mr. Ford is going to have that street committee report, and he's going to let us know what does the FAMU faithful from Atlanta think about Dr. Larry Robinson resigning.
Yeah, I'm going to probably be coming back from a date, so I'm gonna be monitoring what he say. If I need, let me tell you this, I'm not gonna call in, but if you see me call in, you know I'm coming to check Mr. Ford because I know he's gonna say something crazy, and I got to set the record straight. I'm out here saying nothing crazy.
Mr. Campbell, you're like on a rampage. When we do verses, like you've been clearing them out pretty good now. You're gonna have to give some rest because you've been clearing them out. I just posted a flashback Friday for when you and Green were talking about it was Southern versus FAMU week, right?
Oh,
and my poll prediction, of course, was that Southern would beat FAMU, and you got up there and you cut up.
Yeah,
okay.
Well,
Southern
said once this game finishes, I'm going to be on the poll, and I'm going to be in the polls. And you said the only time Southern's going to be on a poll is Club Spades in New Orleans. You never say that.
I'm internationally known and locally loved. See, I know all the places.
Yeah, so y'all go back and check that out. It's Flashback Friday, Coach Green versus Mr. Campbell, and it was FAMU versus Southern. Yeah. So everybody, you guys have a good night. And as always, we're going to go out with Willie Made It Big Time, and how you gonna fix it.
See you later. Great job, Timona.
Thank you.